I just realized that my mic was muted. I realized that, let me rephrase. My mic was not muted. Streamlabs was muted. I'm so sorry, everybody. Anyways, I'll repeat most of that. Beck, happy 10 months, my dude. Thank you so much. President Eggnog. It is an absolute pleasure to have the president of holiday beverages here today, addressing the nation. Thank you so much. Archers, what's up, big guy? Daniel's wifey's hubby, which I believe would just be Daniel. Thank you for coming in. Voodoo, what's up? What's up? Ahoy, ahoy to you as well. And for everybody else out there who's doing the thank you so much. I know that Friday streams are rare, early streams are rarer, and the fact that I plan to stream today and every weekday next week for big long boy streams. I took most of the week off from my day job so I can hang out with all of you and make fun content. After 10,000 years, I lay dormant. What's up, Dash? So yeah, that's the plan. Is you know, my daughter goes down for her nap around 1. She usually falls asleep in between like 1 and 2. So having a big boy stream, either 2 small streams or 1 big stream for all of next week. So super excited about that. We're gonna play some Pokemon. We're gonna play some Monster Rancher. We're gonna talk about some Etheria and D&D. Pokedex adventures for the Pokemon Arcana for our Fakemon region. We're gonna do some of that. Maybe do some Genlock. Maybe some Pokemon Unite. Who knows? The world is my oyster. But when I scheduled my vacation, my time off from work, not that I'm competing with like Dylan or Vinny or Shady or like these titans of Pokemon industry, I did not anticipate that there would be 3 very large people doing their legitimate subathons while I tried to do my pretend subathon. So let's see what we can do. If you just want to hang out with me, then fantastic. Hang out with me. I love it. If you can donate or you want to donate, fantastic. I love it. This isn't my primary job, but so any money that I make off of this goes towards me being able to continue to take time to do this. You know, it's time that my wife doesn't have. It lets my wife not work full time so she can hang out with our daughter. I'd love to make it a reality where she doesn't have to work at all. That'd be great. I don't think this will ever be my full time, but I'd like to at least supplement that. That'd be great. Plus, it lets me, like, when my computer breaks, I had to buy a new computer recently, so things like that are always nice. But anywho, now that I've addressed the nation, I want to ask you guys. That's true, Archers. We did have 5 hours less than the old one. So the tools that I had very poorly set up a couple months ago when I lost my computer, when I had to get my new computer, I forgot to re-download all that stuff. So I think my plan here is I'll figure out, this is like a session 0. Like, we're just kind of like dicking around because my wife picked up a shift for today, so I'm just alone for the next 4 to 6 hours. So I figured I'd just stream. I really wanted to talk about the Etherean Pokedex. It's been a few months since I had all the art back. I know that Hero, who did a majority of the Fakemon for the Etheria Dex, I promised that I would make shorts and Instagram posts and videos and all this stuff, and it got away from me. Family keeps on rotating, getting sick, trying to get enough backlog for my normal videos. I wanted to sort through the Pokedex because I felt like, I had like 250 Pokemon or something like that. I thought that was kind of a lot, but I wanted to pare it down to under 200. So I did that because I still want to make my New England region someday. So some of those Pokemon I want to save. Some of those Pokemon I thought were redundant, typing wise, and that's on me for asking you for too many designs. So yeah, but I want to show everybody that. Do I have a release date for the game? God, no. I barely have a release date. But I did see that the Pokedex filler is starting to work on a fan game with all of the Pokemon that he's made for the shorts. So I would love to, even if it's just like a fire red like ROM hack where I just like put new sprites in there. I'd love to do that. So I don't know. I'll have to see, because now it's like now that I have the art, I would need somebody to take these 180 or so Pokemon and then turn them into sprites So even if I do nothing but that, that's still a lot of work. Dilzik, what's going on? And oh my god, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But I'm gonna put a vote in there because we're hanging out for the next few hours. So we're gonna play some Infinite Fusion because it's been a while. Because honestly, I binged like 8 runs of Infinite Fusion. So I have Infinite Fusion, a new Pokemon Z run because after Pokemon Day, I noticed that people were watching my old Pokemon Z videos, and a couple of other ROM hacks that I wanted to play for a long time. So all that stuff's in the can. So I have videos until like May. So it's been a while since I've done an Infinite Fusion run. So I think we're just gonna do like a randomizer or something, have some fun with that before we kick off and do some other stuff. The Streamathon for the sprites right now. I mean, I know that Hero must. I mean, I don't know if he's hiding in the wings or if he'll watch this later, but I know he must be very understandably frustrated with me because he did all this work for free and I hadn't showed any of it yet. So we're gonna do that today. So it's whether we play a couple of hours of Infinite Fusion first, or we take an hour, maybe a little bit longer. I want to run through the Pokedex and show all that stuff. So hold on. So Dex, Etheria Dex now? Question mark. Yes. Or later. Let's throw that poll up. I'll take a vote from you know the folks that are in here right now. So the way yeah, of course. I mean, and I definitely I've written Dex entries for a lot of them, but what I will say is, just like the general commentary on my videos, I just kind of want to show off the art and then talk about their inspirations and whatnot. So maybe like a little bit of a very what's the word I'm looking for? A very unpolished in-between Pokedex entries and Pragmagic, because Pragmagic was originally why I wanted to make these Fakemon regions. You know, going over the very extensive, very thoughtfulness behind each and every one of the Pokemon that he or whoever he commissions to make the Pokemon make. It's all very thoughtful and informative, and you learn a lot about different cultures or ideas, and that's really neat. There's sometimes, you know, Pokedex fillers just like, this thing can punch through a tree, and that's also fun. So I figure I'll just ramble like I always do. President Eggnog, thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day as well. And please enjoy the rest of your day here at Dinsy's MGM Studios. I'm wearing my Fantasia hat. This is my Father's Day gift last year, and it's the only hat that I wear that doesn't have secret green on it, so I won't turn invisible. Got my sorcerer Mickey right here, just hanging out. Oh no, I'm doing both. No, it's just so my wife gets home. So my daughter is at my mom's house right now. She can have dinner with my parents, and then my mom will come back here, and she'll do bath time and bedtime because, you know, she's nice enough to do that when I stream. So I'll need to help her get the bath ready and stuff at like 7, and then my wife gets home at 8. And then after my wife gets home and like we like shove food in our mouths and we tell each other about our days, I'm gonna come back and stream again until like 10 or 11. So we're doing both those things. But basically I'm trying to figure out if I do the Fakemon Dex now or if I do it like at 8 when I get back from my little break. But it's looking like we're gonna do it now, which is fan-forkin-tastic. So I'm gonna go ahead and say yes as well. I can't do it. It doesn't let me do it. But all right. So we're doing it, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. End poll. So this is what we're doing. Me plus Window. Will I do another run of Pokemon Compass? I probably Galaxy. I just don't know when. I had a lot of fun with it, and I want to do more ROM hacks, especially like Switch ROM hacks, because I feel like that's very, very silly and fun. The only thing kind of holding me back from doing it right away was that whether it's the algorithm or my audience or both, fan games and ROM hacks are very, very hit or miss. So especially ROM hacks. ROM hacks are super hit and miss for me. So I feel like whatever algorithm my channel has built, if I go outside of like a fan game, it kind of So I'll do it at some point, but I don't know when. In Archers, it was I just Googled it. There was a Reddit link, a Reddit post that the creators did. And then it just brought me to their website or to their GitHub, where you could download it. So that's how I got the compass link. There's also a armored shield or crown shield, something like that. Armored sword and crown shield is a Gen 8 ROM hack that I really want to play. What? And the people that watched it definitely liked it, Raph. It's just, you know, my typical videos get not, and once again, I'm a small creator. My typical videos get like in between 20 to 40, somewhere in there. So let's say like 25 to 30,000 views. And the compass one barely hit 10. So that's really, like if something gets like 10 to 15,000, like I feel like I didn't like waste my time with it basically. But it's definitely on the lower end of what I would consider like acceptable. So, I mean, but I feel like this year I plan on at least one video a month is going to be a ROM hack or fan game that I have not played before. So hopefully I can get YouTube to recognize those videos better than I have been able to in the past. But we'll see. Once in a while I'll get lucky. Like the, what the heck was it? When I did the Fire Red Digimon video, like that did well. That did pretty well. That got like 50 or 60,000, which is great. But then I did like Emerald Sea Glass, which is a really great, relatively popular game that like Zwigo and some like non-Nuzlockers played, and that got like 11. Like I don't know what I did. You know, our community's too neat. I think it's my dumb. A lot of people watch Nuzlockers because they're good at Nuzlocking, and I'm not that good. I just say a lot of dumb things, which is what I think. You know, if people like that layer of dad joke doesn't always work. Like a lot of times when people are watching like a vanilla or a near vanilla or like a difficulty hack, they don't want to hear about, you know, I don't know, Randa the Miraculous Magician or the rom-com that I make for Brandon and May. They don't want to hear about the rom-com. They just want to see how I get past that damn pineapple at the end of the game. So it's a little bit different of an audience. But yeah. Oh, that's crazy, Leon. Kid channels? Damn. X. All right. Anyways. Because I'm going to cut this out later. I'm going to cut this out into its own like hour or 90-minute video or whatever. Obviously, so where did you find a file to patch compass with? So I still have Yuzu on my computer. So I had to go, it tells you exactly what folder to go into. To just drop the files into. But it also gives you instructions if you're doing it on an actual Switch, where on your SD card to stick it. But I didn't have a file at first. When I'm gonna do the Infinite Fusion run with Lapras, Galaxy, I know you want it so damn bad. You know, Beedrill did all right. I was afraid that specific Pokemon videos wouldn't work anymore. The Lapras is still definitely on the table. But I think the next specific Pokemon run that I do on Infinite Fusion will be Ditto, because it's funny. A lot of people have been asking me to do Ditto. And I do think that if I just have like weird pink and purple goop monsters as every single one of my Pokemon, I think that would be funny and fun. So I think the next specific mod run I do would be Ditto. But Lapras still exists. The problem with Lapras is when you use Lapras's body, obviously you're picking up ice. So that automatically makes the game a bit harder. So you're relegating to just having like weird Nessie head on everybody. Wailord could be fun. Wailord has a lot of very funny sprites. It's like, is it funny or cute? Like, is it funny, cool, or cute? And like that really helps out with the specific Mon runs. So like my first ever specific Mon run I did with Steelix. Steelix has a lot of really cool fusions, and it worked out. You know, Lucario's cool. Does that work out? You know, I did my Miltank ones. That's all 3, baby. That's cool. That's cute. And it's silly. So, you know, it all kind of works out. It's a maybe on Lapras. I if you told me to do like a Smurgle run, it's not going to happen. A Lapras is maybe. It's just not at the top of the priority list or whatever. I want to try to do all 18 monotypes by the end of the year on remix mode. So, you know, beating the game on de facto hard with every monotype. That's what I want to do first. That's my goal. I'm going to mix in some randomizers or some other fun ideas, but I think specific mon runs are definitely secondary to me wanting to do all 18 of those. So it's not a no. It's just a not yet. But have I ever tried a rainbow lock? I have not. I also want to do a gym lock, and it's funny, I was thinking about doing a gym lock, and then like 2 days later, Antler Boy put out a video of him doing a gym lock, and I was like, maybe the time has finally come. I've been thinking about this for like a year. Sorry, now. How do? Can I make this a little bit bigger, maybe? So that way it's like the stains are going into each other. Let's try it like this. Yeah, that's good. I think that's good. Still not perfect on the left and on the right, but it looks good. Beedrill was the first ever Infinite Fusion video I made, because at the time, Beedrill still got amazing sprites. So it's just like it had almost every Pokemon as a sprite, and just adding the pink and the black with like the cool with the bee eyes on like any Pokemon automatically made it pretty neat. And Beedrill's body, even when you're using Beedrill as the body, you know, Poison's a great secondary typing. I'm just sad that I couldn't win, and that was like my third run of Beedrill. So when I got that far on that last time, I was like, this is as far as we're getting. So I called it. But I had a lot of fun doing it. I always love Beedrill. Beedrill's a good dude. But really quick, so starting off with Etheria. So if you have not caught any of the streams where I've talked about this in the past, or you haven't watched either of my videos that I put out last year about the region, a kind of quick recap. So the way that Pokemon Arcana, Etheria, whatever works is it is a fairly typical high fantasy world. So people have magic, and that would manifest as, you know, actual magic or strength or dexterity, you know, all the RPG stats. It is all controlled in some fashion by magic. But at some point, you know, a long time ago, Pokemon started popping up. And as more and more Pokemon popped up, people got less and less magic. So Pokemon have replaced, you know, stuff. And I'm thinking, like, if you think of like a high magic civilization. So if you look at something like maybe a little bit lower tech, no, not even lower tech than that. If you look at something like Piltover from League, or if you ever played Tales of Exilia, like how everything is run by, they find out like spirits or whatever. But like, so technology is magic. And now Pokemon has supplemented that. So you don't have, you know, arcane street lights or whatever. You have a fire Pokemon going around, or an electric Pokemon going around activating your street lights, or running the heat in your home, or helping out with transportation instead of teleportation, like things like that. So, you know, I forgot what fan game did it, but it's like, oh, like you go and like a Hypno will like teleport you where you will act as like the flying taxi and teleport you where you need to go. So like Pokemon have replaced those sorts of things in this world. The bad guys want to get magic back for themselves, and the good guys / you and the professor are trying to figure out like the link between where Pokemon came from, why is magic on them, yada yada yada. Why use Fireball when I can use Flamethrower with a giant lizard? Well, yeah, basically. Hi, Magic, I'm Dad. Hey, all right. Absolutely. So that's the idea. So the idea is that, you know, the adventurers of the world, like in the D&D world, have been replaced with Pokemon trainers. So that's you. You're graduating from, you know, the Pokemon Academy. These are your two fellas. I'm going to put the links for all of the artists when I break this off into its own video. The protagonists, all the human characters. I'm only going to show the two protagonists and then the professor right now. But Send It Above made them over on Instagram and on all the different socials. So I'm going to link their information in there. He did a really great job with that. With that, you know, I wanted to have Mega Evolution in there. Oh, good. My mouse is here. So, you know, strap some Mega Stones on there. The Pokeballs are more ancient looking. I also use the unknown alphabet for as kind of like a glyphs or runes or whatever. So there's a C on there for capture. You know, the female protagonist, you can see that she has a spell book, so that would act as your Pokedex and some other, you know, general stuff. And the idea is that because you are a Pokemon trainer, you still have a very small amount of that magic. So things like HMs would be spells that you would cast. So, you know, you wouldn't need to waste an HM slot on a Pokemon. You know, you can, you know, teleport a short distance, or you can use cut or surf or whatever. Like, you have that little bit of magic in you because of the connection or the bonds that you've made with your Pokemon. So that is the idea, the general idea for the game. And then you got Professor Violet. So, I mean, honestly, I wanted the professor to be Gale. So once again, Set It Above did a great job. You know, he's the headmaster / like lead Pokemon researcher in Etheria. So yeah, it's Gale. Hello, I'm Gale. That's Professor Violet. I'm gonna feel really self-conscious while I'm talking to myself. So you all tell me what's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm gonna go ahead and why use Pokeballs when you use staff? It's more cost effective. Instead of catching Pokemon, you catch them with a magic book. So yeah, that was the kind of like thought that I had, Galaxy, because it's like, oh, because at someday, like with the D&D campaign that I've been doing, I want to make it take place in this world. It's like, well, if it's successful, it can't be Pokeballs. It's got to be something else. But, you know, at the same time, like right now, it's Pokemon. So yeah, like if this were to somehow catch on and be its own thing, yeah, I would have to, you know, make it pages in a spell book or a card or some other thing. It wouldn't be Pokeballs, but for now, it's Pokemon Archon. So that's just how it works. No tree pun blasphemy. I mean, whatever, man. It's a plant. It's violet. You know, because once again, I wanted the professor to be Gale. Gale wears purple, so violet. But yeah, it's not a tree, but it's still a plant. So that's what that is. That's what that is. And then I'm sure, maybe I shouldn't say I'm sure. My starter video, so for the grass starter, it's Cubark. Oh no, the second what stage is missing. You've got to be kidding me. No. No. This is so no. Hold on. This is what happens when I do things, because it's not always prepped properly. It's not fine, because I'm going to cut this out into thing. Ursark, what are you doing? There we go. Here we go. Now I'm going to have to edit it. I'm going to have to do editing. I don't like editing. That's part of the reason why it's taking me so long to do this. It's still not doing it. There we go. All right, so for the starters, we have Cubark, Ursark in Sylvanor. So taking inspiration from, you know, I guess a little bit from Halcyon, but mostly from just moon druids in general. So, you know, this would be like the big burly tanky boy of the three starters. You know, Grass Fairy, I think, is a really solid typing. For an ability, I think it would be something, for a hidden ability, rather. I think it would be something similar to Fluffy, but working with their bark armor. So, you know, it might take some sort of additional damage from fire, which it's already weak against, but it would have reduced damage from, or maybe like filter. I don't know if it would be either like Fluffy or filter, one of the two. But its armor would definitely play a role in that, with its hidden ability. So I love Cubark. I wanted to make a cute little bear. So I like that it's, you know, it's a little unsure of itself on its hind legs here. You know, it gets a little bit tougher. But yeah, these are, you know, forest protectors. So starter Pokemon are always relatively rare. So, you know, if you're in, you know, a forest area, you know, like this would be like a Sylvanor would be like the keeper of that entire forest. So there would be one Sylvanor that would kind of like survey and take care of an entire forest. So that, you know, inspiration, like I said, moon druids. I love the foliage here. I love the moss cape that they get as they evolve. You know, the little pink accents to show off some of the fairiness. But yeah, this would definitely be the slow defensive. You know, it's probably stats similar to something like Blastoise, but have a physical attack be a little bit higher than special attack. And like I said, its ability would be similar to either Fluffy or Filter to help reduce its damage because of its bark armor. But then moving into the fire starter, so it's Flare Kit, Flash Sinks, ooh, don't know why that happened with that one, and Magmeowser. So these are evocation wizards. So I love the fire ice combination typing on that, just because those are the two most common evocation spells in Dungeons and Dragons. Other than, Galarian Darmanitan, in Zen mode, you don't have a fire ice Pokemon. So these Pokemon would generally accompany researchers in mountainous areas. So like if you would see a Flare Kit like heating people's homes in like Arctic areas. And once it evolves into Flash Sinks and then Magmeowser, it would accompany researchers into ancient ruins or into cave systems looking for artifacts and whatnot. That's usually what it would do as a Flash Sinks. A Magmeowser would then start to collect them for themselves, looking for additional power. This would be our fast but not super fast, really heavy on the special defense and special attack side. I think it would have an ability, I can't remember what it's called right now, but effectively, as long as it is a attacking move, it would have some sort of adaptability boost on there. So, even though it would be able to learn, like, kind of like how Nidoking and Nidoqueen have an insanely large move pool, this would be the same thing. So it would have that small, not quite a stab boost, but a small boost on all special moves to kind of help fill in different gaps of your team and really hammer home that this thing is made to, be a glass cannon. It is a mage. So that is, the inspirations on there for the fire starters. And then for the water starter, we got Tide Pup, Tempowl, and then Lycanite. So for these Pokemon, it is a combination of Tempest, I can't even think right now, so sorry. Tempest Clerics, and then also 4 element monks. So the idea is, Tide Pups would be in fishing villages, things like that. They can predict the weather, the tides. It can kind of do that. As they evolve, that electric typing that they gain makes them very aggressive and volatile. So if it doesn't have a good trainer, then it starts to cause the bad weather that their predecessors were kind of advising their humans on earlier. And if they can't control them, they have to, basically they send them out to sea by themselves until they can figure out how to calm their emotions and then control their powers better. And then they would evolve into a Lycanite. So they find that kind of sense of balance going into the monk side of things. And then also, that being at peace and whatnot, controlling the weather, that I think would still be conducive to something like a Tempest Cleric. So that's where you kind of have that dual class thing going on there. But I thought it made sense because they're both wisdom classes. So this would be our very fast physical attacker. As far as a hidden ability, I don't know offhand what its hidden ability would do. But I think that maybe it would have maybe a signature move that would be water and electric combination, or maybe like something like Soak. So like its signature ability might use Soak and then use a relatively low powered electric move on there to ensure that it would be a super effective hit. But as far as an ability, I don't know what it would be. I these are still things I'm working on, but I wanted to run through the decks. It was so funny. So Trainer Matt's over on Instagram, he made a Greek region over the course of last year. Now he's working on a Japanese region. You can check him out. He made he made the starters as well as some of the more a handful of the iconic D&D monsters that I had made. Because like him and I both in love with Sylvanor, like the grass starter. Grass starter is the best starter. This is our dude. This is our homie. And yeah, when I put up that starter video, everybody loves Lycanite. And it's so funny because when in a vacuum, when the two, he was doing the real work, obviously, but me giving notes and whatnot, this was the one that we were both least sure of. And it is the one that is so much more popular than the others. Hey, what's going on, Kangaroo? What's going on, bud? Auto Soak a target on switching, that could be something. But yeah, far and away. No worries, Dash. it's just crazy because so much more popular than the other ones, which I love. I love the water electric typing. I typing wise is probably my favorite. We're doing all right, Ken. We're we were sick for like 2 months straight. Came back from Disney. Everybody's doing all right now. I wanted to run through the decks for Etheria. Bogey Hero, Mr. Hero. Finished it up a while ago, and I've been dragging my feet. So we're doing this now, and then I can break this out into a video later on. So I'm really excited to finally get all the decks out there. So yeah, man, it's cool. It's cool. Plus, I'm ahead on videos. I'm good till like the end of May. His ability could just be speed boost. That's true, Galaxy. A legendary of water fire. See that typing again. Oh, so like Volcanion. That's his name. I mean, that'd be a cool one. So spoiler alert, all the legendaries for Etheria are dragons because it's Dungeons and Dragons. But whether it's Hero or any other artists, if they're willing to work with me again, even though I'm very slow at these things, I do want to, like I said, I want to make a New England region very badly because it is where I live. New England region of the United States, so Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and then up through Maine. You can ignore Connecticut because they don't even want to be here. That's right, Connecticut. My eyes are on you. Water Dog naming him Ace. That's a great name. Good dog name. But those are our starters. And then even though typically powerful dragon Pokemon would be at the back of the Pokedex, we're gonna hop right into the chromatic dragons because in my mind, the dragon Pokemon were probably the first ones that popped up. Dragons are usually, these ancient beings with a lot of power. So even though they are rare now, they were probably the Pokemon that started popping up first in my mind. So when looking at the red chromatic dragon, you start off with Kindred, Ember Horde, and then eventually it evolves into Volcavolt. So red dragons are the classic, I guess like the most classic typical dragon that is permeated throughout most of pop culture and whatnot. So these are the ones with their big treasure hoards. So Volcavolt are going to recruit smaller Pokemon that we'll see a little bit later in the Pokedex. Kind of gather up treasure for them. The bigger their hordes get, the more influence they have, the more powerful they become. They are not great. They're kind of like, I don't know how else to say it. The chromatic dragons are not good dudes in D&D, so they are all evil. So this is like the typical dragon sitting on the big old pile of gold protecting its stuff. If you come in my cave, then it is a terrible idea for you. So I wanted to make sure that its name kind of evoked that. So Kindling and Greed with Kindred, Ember Horde, it has its horde obviously, and then Volcavolt because obviously it's storing all this stuff. So the very typical dragon archetype that is in not only D&D but fantasy at large. And then moving into the blue dragon, so we have Snapbolt, Boltorn, and Boltitan. Do I have Galaxy? Of course I have a Griffin Pokemon. Are you forking kidding me, dog? Of course we have a Griffin Pokemon. But when we look at Boltitan and its pre-evolutions, so these are the big burly guys. So, blue dragons are very cocky. So I wanted it to be a big burly boy, very sure of itself, very physically powerful and imposing. So I don't know. And I'll be honest, I really need to think of abilities and whatnot later on. But I just wanted to, I wanted to get this out there. So Boltitan are very physically imposing, but they also fight dirty. So if it is fighting something that is stronger than it, it has no problems just picking it up and throwing it off a cliff. Like it can fly and presumably you cannot. It'll fight dirty if it needs to, but it is very, very proud of its power. It's very proud of its power. Can absorb electricity, control the weather a little bit through its horn to kind of empower itself or defend itself. So this would be very bulky, very slow, very high physical attack. Versus, this would be, what you'd expect from a dragon. So high special attack, pretty decent I'd say okay defenses, but focusing more on special attack and speed on Volkavolt, which is this versus this, which is going to be physically very bulky with a very high physical attack stat. You should add a special gimmick Pokemon like Gimme Goal. Ooh, that'd be fun. Yeah, I mean, you'll see in a little while. Archers, I got a little bit of that, but I think there's 180-ish Pokemon that have made this quote-unquote final cut, but there are like another 40 Pokemon that are designed, and I'll show you guys some of that concept art at the end, because I think it's still fun to look at. But for the White Dragon, you have Cryoling, Cryolash, and Cryopex. Dragons in D&D are typically very intelligent. They're very intelligent. They are, a lot of them can turn into people. They're very influential. White dragons are the most like animals. So they are the least intelligent, but the most aggressive. So I wanted to kind of go for that, where it looks kind of stupid in its first stage. And then as it grows, it gets a little bit more aggressive looking. It's got the bigger claws. It's starting to get some more stuff going on. It looks a little bit more like it could go out and hunt for its food. And then this just attacking absolutely everything on sight. Let me make this a little bit bigger, actually. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. There we go. No, it's not perfect, huh? There we go. Perfect. So Cryopex, Cryopex, Apex is really all there is to it. But the most aggressive, big ol' hunters, if you're anywhere up in the mountains or up north, you got to look out for these things because they will attack basically everything on sight. But moving into green dragons, so Smile Dial, Toxalure, and Noxagile. So green dragons typically would, live in swampy areas. They are definitely the type of dragon that would typically kind of make its own little cult. Basically, it's not necessarily about collecting treasure. It's about collecting personalities, about collecting people. So I wanted it to look a little bit goofy and approachable. So the way that I wanted it to kind of be to sort of be able to influence people is by trying to make it more cute. But obviously, it is incredibly poisonous and incredibly mean. But yeah, even in its final stage, it still has, a happy expression. I wanted to do that on purpose because I thought that would continue to hammer home that it's influence over others. Pigeons look cute because they want people to feed them. That's why the dove has the heart on its chest, taking inspirations from the relationship that humans have with pigeons and whatnot in cities in real life. So I wanted to have that kind of thing. It remains approachable even though it is incredibly dangerous. So I think that the hero did a really great job with keeping that kind of cutesiness in its design a little bit. And then finally you have Hatch Sting. I finally had to give some. I wanted the Dragon Bug so bad. We finally got. It could have been Dragon Dark. This could have been the Dragon Poison one, but no, I wanted Dragon Bug. So black dragons are the most evil out of all the dragons. So similarly to Volkavolt, Scorpagons like to create treasure hoards and stuff, but the difference is that they go out and they make their lairs out of human civilizations. So it'll go to a small town or village or whatever, and instead of having other Pokemon gather stuff for them, they're going to go out there and do it themselves. So when they're hatching, they might attack farms and take their goodies and assault people's homes and whatnot to be a big old jerk. And then by the time it's Scorpagon is going to full-size towns and small cities and just taking over the entire place for themselves. So I wanted there to be, the kind of bugginess. So obviously the scorpion tail, the kind of a Haxorus-y mandibles going on there on its face. The bug-like wings on there. I wanted to look like it had an exoskeleton on there to kind of protect it. So then, yeah, we got that. Just like Cryopex, this guy would definitely be, physically powerful, very fast. More huntery type Pokemon. And all the dragons were made by Bogey Hero. And most of the Pokemon were made by Bogey Hero. So, he's done a lot for 6.0 and through now for Infinite Fusion. especially like Ludicolo stuff and outfits. So, you know, he was nice enough to help me out with so many of the designs, and like took like a month of his own time to draw these up for me, which is like insane. I really, and I could never be more appreciative of that. But yeah, those are our dragons. Those are the dragons, guys and gals. But the idea that I have with them, they'd evolve like late, but not super late, probably like 40 or 45. I think that in some regard, in a game, the dragon Pokemon would kind of act like the elemental monkeys. Like this would be your secondary starter. Like you get your starter for graduating from school, and because of the story of the game, you know, and their connection to being more or less the original Pokemon in Etheria, you know, you would get one of these bad boys pretty early in the game to accompany you for whatever story reason. So yeah, those are the dragons. But now we got to go into the regular Route 1 boys and girls. The first is Buzzlet. The Buzzlets are our basic bug. So a little cutesy bee. It's not reminiscent of any sort of specific D&D thing yet, obviously, but once it evolves, it has a split evolution. So males become Wasquire, which is an Oath of the Crown or Oath of Devotion paladin. So Buzzlets are you know, they help out around farms and cities and whatnot, pollinate, you know, doing what bees do. They pollinate stuff. So helping wildlife grow or crops grow and farms and whatnot. And when the males evolve into Wasquire, typically in like an urban environment, male Buzzlets would be identified fairly early. So like I would say like city guards, you know, or like the local police force, whatever we would call that. This is kind of like their signature Pokemon. You know, these are the town guard Pokemon. I wanted to do bug fighting. I love bug fighting as a typing. Heracross is one of my boys. I've always been a big fan of Heracross. I love the honeycomb shield along with the javelin. There were so many designs that Hero gave me to go with this. It was like one of the most it was one of the first designs he sent back to me, and I was so excited because he gave me like different heads and like shapes for like so many really cool options. But I love the way the Wasquire turned out. And then female ones evolve into Ferroqueen. So the other kind of thing is towns and cities and whatnot will find one female Buzzlet to evolve into a Ferroqueen, because then obviously these guys are going to work even harder to protect the queen. And that was kind of the idea of it. So these would be more reminiscent of something like a Glamour Bard. So using being able to charm other Buzzlets and other bug Pokemon and use them to attack. So similar to Vespiquen does with attack order, defend order. You know, Ferroqueen would have very similar mechanics to that. So yeah. So that would be that. So this is our basic bug. This is our most basic bug. But there's also secondary basic bug. We got Grub Oil and Fernant. So these are wildfire druids. So the way that it works is wildfire druids in D&D get like a little fire elemental that goes around with them, and the idea is, you know, like you burn away dead foliage and whatnot, and then it'll regrow. You know, that's the whole idea behind wildfire druids, and these guys are the same thing. Their body secretes a highly flammable oil. So this is what people use to heat their homes, to light street lamps, things like that. And then Ferrant, you know, you find them in forest and whatnot to clear out, or like farmers or whatever would use these guys to clear out dead or dying crops, or to you know, clear the land or whatever before you would, you know, build something or whatever. So that's kind of the focus of these guys. So, you know, I wanted to have cool bugs with good typings to be our like starter area bugs, because, you know, there's a lot of bug flying, a lot of bug poison. So I wanted to have a little bit more variety with our, you know, with our 400 BSC boys and girls out there. So that's Fernand. And then for our basic rodent, because you got to have a basic rodent, you have Nurat and Nuraking. So normal psychic, they are based off of cranium rats in D&D. So whether it's in the if there are rats that are really, really close to mind flayers, the rats kind of become a hive mind of their own. So that's the idea behind these Pokemon, is that they hang out in caves or they've either come into contact, or they evolve side by side with the mind flayer Pokemon that we'll see a little bit later. And they scout out areas that the first form of that Pokemon is too weak to do, so they gather food for more powerful psychic Pokemon. So they serve other psychic Pokemon. It's our basic little mousy mouse. King, once it evolves, gets a little bit of psychic power of its own, and then now it can influence other Rats and other weaker Pokemon to help it out. What's going on with that? Hey, what's going on? You thought the spear part was part of the head as a nose? Oh, yeah, no. I can definitely see how, yeah. I mean, when you zoom on in there, you can see it's a little bit of arm going on. It's the arm. Anyways. But yeah, so that's Rat and King, our basic boys. And then also we got to have our Route 1 bird. So we have Dawnling, Soulhawk, and Heliowing. So Fire Flying, while it isn't necessarily a great type, Talonflame is my favorite bird, and nobody can convince me differently. So Dawnling, Soulhawk, and Heliowing are going to be based off of Light Clerics. So, also like the god Lathander. So he's the Dawnbringer. He's the god of the sun, basically. So Dawnling, they make their nests on the top of really tall mountains, and as they evolve and get more powerful, so when a Soulhawk evolves into a Heliowing, it looks like the sun rising. It's all, Phoenix. Gotta love Phoenixes. That doesn't even make sense. But thank you, I think. But yeah, so that's Dawnling, Soulhawk, and Heliowing. It's our Route 1 bird. It's our boy. He's a fancy dude. He's a fancy fella. I love him a lot. And then moving on, we have our fellas. You all know that I love fellas. So we got Tresker and Familipur. They're our fellas. So Tressum are basically just winged cats. They are, Gale has one in BG3. That was kind of the influence for this. So wizard familiars. So they go around getting shiny objects or things that they think are important, and then they try to defend them for whoever their masters are. So this, I want, as opposed to kind of like going hand in hand with Nurat, like Nurat is not like what a youngster would have. So it's like, what does a youngster or a lass have? They have a cat that like gets a bottle cap and thinks it is really cool that he did it. So that's Tresker. It'll evolve with friendship because it's a wizard's familiar. It is your best friend. It's a house cat, and it'll evolve into this big, not ugly Prugly. That was kind of the idea with that. I wanted it to be your big old huggy friend, big enough for a child to ride on it, but not big enough for like an adult to ride on it. It does kind of look like Fat Cat from Rescue Rangers. You're right, Galaxy. But yeah, so that is our secondary basic. Route 1 Pokemon, because like I said, looking at Nurat and King, that's not something that preschooler Tim has, but Tresker is. So that was kind of the idea with coming up with this fella. Plus, I want a flying Pokemon that weren't birds. They can't all be birds. But next is Cobrite and Nagalith. I wanted a poison rock Pokemon because there's not really any poison. I don't think there are any poison. Oh, other than what's it called? The one with toxic debris. The one from Gen 9. There's only the one rock poison Pokemon. So I wanted to do that. It's representative of Yuan-Ti. So they're snake people in D&D, basically. And I wanted it to be a cool little rock snake. And then when it evolves, basically it has a shell on it. And it has rock arms and a shell on it. The design's really neat. I like it a lot. Poison rock, I think, is a fun typing. That it is only used literally once with over 1,000 Pokemon, and I did want to have some Pokemon that were representatives of. You're right. I forgot about the Ultra Beast. Thank you, Proper Panda. You're absolutely right. So this would be like our one of our basic cave Pokemon. So this would be our Geodude, for example. This is our little rock boy. But yeah, Cobrite and Nagalith. Yuan-Ti. And, Yuan-Ti can range from being literally like a snake to being like a dude with a forked tongue. So I wanted it to become a Naga. So I wanted to become a snake person. So that was the idea behind that. Plus, like I said, really cool type. But then moving forward, we have Lamble and Temperies. So these are oh my god, Storm Herald Barbarians. So I wanted there to have, it looks like something that would be from some like, from like a Viking show or whatever. So people who live in mountainous areas would use these fellas for farming, and their transportation, all that kind of fun stuff. I just wanted to be a big burly storm boy. There's not a lot of physical electric moves, not a lot of physical fire moves. So I kind of wanted to go against type and have the big burly electric boy. So it would probably have to have some sort of signature ability to make it worth it, because you can't just be rocking with Spark and Wild Charge and nothing else. So yeah, so really great on Lamble and Temperies. And then unless I say otherwise, all of these were made by Hero. So if it's someone else, I'll mention it, but otherwise it's all Bogey Hero. So yeah, so Lamble, Temperies, I love these guys. Definitely like going on the squad. And then kind of going into the same theme of being transportation for folks. So this Fawnbull and Galahorn. So these would be like the general mount for the area, for the region. So Galahorn is just our straight up normal boy. Good mid-game Pokemon. It's our Stantler, but it evolves. It has a pre-evolution going on there. Our non-grass Swashbuck, fast with all around stats. Otherwise, this is our Go-Goat. This is our Go-Goat, but it's normal. Our Go-Goat, our Swashbuck. Once again, normal, not grass. But it's our transportation boy. I love him. He's a fella. I almost thought about holding off on this, because if I do make my New England region, this screams just the state of Maine. But, I'll have to live. I'll come up with a different moose. But I love him. And then I needed some more fellas. So we have Burrager and Terravling. So this I thought would be kind of represent. Oh yeah. Also, sorry. Galahorn is just a general ranger. Not any specific one. I guess if I had to pick one, it'd be Hunter Ranger, just because it's good at traveling and tracking and moving across biomes and whatnot, since it's the general transportation for the area. So this is just representative of a ranger just in general. And then this would be a this is the Scout Rogue, so very similar. So Terravlings, they would have big underground networks. And tunnels leading all throughout Etheria. So if you get into a cave system and find trenches and whatnot that were dug by these guys, you'd probably be able to travel the entirety. So like an equivalent of the Underdark would be in the Forgotten Realms, in D&D in general. So these guys have these giant underground networks. They're great at scouting. They're great at finding food and whatnot. So for people that are living out in the wild, these make really good scouts. Scouts are rogues, though, but same idea. So, love Burger and Terravling. Once again, I love getting some fellas in there. You need some good fella Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is Gaskull. So, Gaskull is a split evolution. So, Gaskull, they are they're basically little trickster spirits that found their ways into these skulls. And then depending on, it would be an item that you would give them in game. But depending on what it was in its previous life, it would evolve two different ways. So it would be something, like kind of like have with Charcadet. So it would have a split evolution depending on what armor you give it. So same type of thing. So if you give it a rusty sword or whatever, it would evolve into Ghoulist. So it would gain the normal typing. I thought Ghost Normal is, once again, Ghost Normal is a really neat typing. So these are just kind of representative of necromancers in general. So first thing, you give it to a Rusty Blade, it would evolve into a Ghoulist. And then on some absurdly late level, like Unova levels of unnecessarily leveling, it would eventually evolve into Ghosternaut. So big boy, really defensive, have a solid attack stat. It would be our big fella. I love the coloration that was kind of chosen with that. I like the fact that kind of like the energy for the aggressive one is a nice pretty color of pink on there. I love that the ghost is like hugging the inside of the rib cage there. Yeah, so Sans, yeah. So I love the way the ghost has kind of like permeated this form. And then if you gave it a broken wand, it would evolve into nothing because it won't go forward. It'll evolve into Frostgeist. So it gains Ghost Ice. So once again, I was debating between Ghost Fire and Ghost Ice because once again, those are the common typings for evocation spells. But I thought that a Necromancer would make more sense. It would be either Necrotic or Ice, and Necrotic would make it Ghost Dark, and I didn't want to do Ghost Dark because I have a Ghost Dark later, I think. So I wanted to go with Ghost Ice. So it's got that icy hue, and then eventually it'll evolve into Frostgrim, which what I really like about Frostgrim is that the ghost is kind of protecting itself inside of its lamp while projecting this this kind of skeletal reaper form that it's got going on. So yeah, so that's our basic ghost would have a split evolution. So that's Ghost or Not and Frostgrim. Really excited about those guys. I love them. Ghost Ice anything isn't necessarily the best thing in the universe, but I really love Frostgrim a lot. And on the flip side, Gasling. So if it is, as opposed to Gas Skull, it finds this dead human to inhabit. If it's all by itself, it's Gasling, and then it'll just evolve on its own into Ectosprite. So the difference with these guys is, Gas Skulls are more playful. So Gas Skulls are these playful guys, are having a good time. They're claiming this kind of body as its own. Versus Gasling, which would be like the restless spirit. It doesn't know it has no identity. So when it evolves, it becomes kind of like this angry boogeyman type of thing. I wanted to have it look like it was stitched together, even though it's just like a creepy ghost. And even though it's supposed to be, like a creepy angry ghost, it's still kind of cute. Because look at this guy. Look at this guy. So that's that. Yeah, I mean, kind of, yeah. It does look a lot like Grimm. So yeah, you're looking at Sans and Grimm. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but that is what we're looking at. That's totally a good point, Galaxy. Those are our ghosty guys. Those are our early ghosty guys. Which leads into our Circle of Dreams druids, which is Inarim and Vulfius. So this is our Moonstone Pokemon. Moonstone right here, embedded it in its head. Hooray, hooray, hooray. But yeah, so Inarim and Vulfius. So Circle of Dreams druids. So people having nightmares or whatever, they would go into their dreams and help guide them. So these Pokemon, while they're Inarim, would typically find a lot of either lonely people or small children and kind of, visit them in their dreams until they eventually, they inevitably would become friends, and this would be their companion. And then if they ever get a Moonstone, they can evolve it into Vulfius, which would be a fairly powerful Pokemon. Moonstones would be rare in Etheria. So if you can hold on to this little fella long enough, you'll have the reward of getting this guy. Which, I love Vulfius. I wanted to have a Spirit Fox Pokemon a lot, but I initially didn't know how to do it. So having it be like Circle of Dreams type of guy was a really great thing that we kind of ended up coming up with. But yeah, so that's that. Oh god. And then this one is Trainer Matt's again. So Trainer Matt made me this is the Displacer Beast. So it's not a class, it's based off of a monster. The Displacer Beast. So we have Illusionings and Gloomsnarl. So it's a combination of a Displacer Beast and I misspoke. It's also Gloomstalker Rangers. So I wanted to do Dark Normal. I like using Normal as a secondary typing because it gives, the immunity to Ghost. And then also giving it that extra weakness to fighting, which, is both like a burden and a curse. But yeah, so Gloomsnarl and Illusionings. So Displacer Beast can create illusions that they kind of use to distract their prey before they inevitably get in there and do their thing. So these guys would be stalking jungles or forests or, secluded areas. They would lure their prey in and then they go for it. So just like a Gloomstalker hiding in the shadows doing their thing. So that's our kitty friend right there. Bullet Punch, I mean, yeah, probably. I tried to keep the typings as balanced as possible. So yeah, it's a little front heavy with fairy, but as you get a little bit deeper, there's definitely the most fire and dark in the Pokedex, which I feel like is unavoidable when you're looking at D&D stuff, because fire is the most common resistance. It's the most common thing in the game is fire. I had a frick ton of fighting. I had to scale back the fighting because I had like 30 fighting Pokemon, and I think I have it down to like 7 or 8 like final form fighting Pokemon. But yeah, no, fighting is the water of this area. But Assassin Rogue, we got Bullywog, Venaleep, and Dendromire. I love tree frogs. I wanted to have a tree frog. I wanted to have a poison dart frog. You know, the only tree frog we got in all of Pokemon is the Froakie line. So I wanted to have that. I wanted it to be poison. You know, so this thing grows these poisonous warts all over its body, and it hucks them from the tops of trees. Takes out whatever it's trying to hunt for, and then it'll sneak on down and do its thing. It'll also take pot shots at birds to get them to fall into their trees or whatever. I wanted it to be cute and approachable because poison dart frogs are cute. And obviously the bright colors and whatnot make you want to touch it, but you should definitely not touch it. So yeah, this is our poison dart frog. It's our assassin rogue. So we got Bullywog, Venaleep, and Dendromire. So this is back to hero again for the design. And then this was like one of the first Pokemon I had an idea for. It is an Oath of the Ancients Paladin. So we have Sprig Shield and Grovardian. Rock grass. I love the rock grass combination. I'm finding out the older I get, I think I like grass Pokemon a lot more than I did as a kid. But you know, it is an enchanted shield that got stuck into a rock, and then that rock is now animated, and as it grows and evolves, you know, that because magic and Pokemon, and don't question it, you know, this shield eventually becomes bark armor, gets this big old mace over here, gets this shield. Oath of the Ancients Paladin. So in Etheria, you know, there'd be a handful of Grovardians that would be helping a Sylvanor out with kind of keeping peace in a forest. Once again, I love a good fella. So here's our fellas. And now we have another bug, more normal. So Phaseling and Arachnoblink. So they're based off of phase spiders. So phase spiders do exactly what they sound like. They can blink all over the place. What I thought was really interesting when Hero and I were originally talking about coming up with what typing to do with this, we ended up landing on normal because when they're blinking, they are traveling through the ethereal plane back into the material plane. So they're phasing in and out of regular existence. So the normal I thought would be interesting. I don't think there are any normal bug Pokemon. I didn't want to do ghost because they're not undead. I didn't want to do dark because they're not evil. You know, there's nothing sinister about what they're doing. They're just, you know, they're just teleporting. So I thought that them being able to teleport and being immune to ghost, it's like, oh, like you know, the spectral can't affect them because they are phasing in and out of existence. That was kind of like the justification that I ended up having for it. But I love how cute he is as a little phaseling. He turns into an Arachnoblink. Still kind of a cute fella, but you know, a little otherworldly with all the swirls and stuff on there, and you can't tell which are its eyes because, you know, on its crest here you got the 6 fake eyes along with its real ones. So yeah, I thought it was a good fella. I'm really into him. But Wigworm and Tremolude. So giant purple worm. The giant purple worm, this Tremolude might be the biggest Pokemon in the Pokedex. You know, giant purple worms can swallow like entire cities, like if they burrow up and come do the thing. So Wigworm would be a Wigworm would still be like 8 to 10 feet long. Like this thing is like a giant earthworm dragonair. Like it's huge. And then when it evolves, insanely long. Can burrow in, you know, just I don't even know how big the damn thing would be. I haven't figured out scale on anything, but I think Tremolude would be the biggest boy on the block. So inspired by obviously giant purple worms, and then I mean Tremors, you know, that the Kevin Bacon vehicle from the early 90s known as Tremors. You got that going on then there, and then the elude. Got to take a little bit of the shy elude from Dune on there for the namesake. But yeah, so Wigworm and Tremolude. Those are our homies. And I can't believe it took this long to get to a fighting Pokemon. But we have Scrap Up, we have Scrapiena, and Null Brawl. So these are Nulls. Just Nulls from D&D. Also, just like a general monk Pokemon, or even like a champion fighter. So the way that these fellas would work is, Scrap Pups and Scrapienas, much like packs of wolves or hyenas or wild dogs in real life, they're pack animals. But Null Brawls end up evolving in real life, not real life, none of it's real. In actual D&D, a hyena can become a Null when it gets infected, and then the hyena dies and it becomes a Null, which is a humanoid dog monster. But the idea with it gaining its dark typing is, the very, very tough Scrapienas, especially strong ones, would get too cocky when they are significantly stronger than their Scrap Ups. They evolve into Scrapiena. They're the leader of the pack. They still don't see much of a challenge. They go off on their own because they're so self-assured and so like I'm the best. I'm the best. But they go off on their own. They become dicks, and then they evolve into Null Brawls. So as an evolutionary thing, that wouldn't work. It would just evolve via level up. But the lore in game is that their isolation turns them into giant jerks. So that's why when they evolve into their final form, they gain the dark typing. But this was the first Pokemon that Hero drew for me as an idea. He was like, hey, proof of concept. I can do this. What do you want me to draw? And I was like, I kind of want a Null or a hyena, but I can't pick. So he just drew these. And I was like, oh, wait, what if it was... He's like, oh, I did a bipedal one and a quadrupedal one. Which one do you want? And I was like, both, actually? So that's how this ended up. It started off with this little fella evolving into this or this. But we ended up doing it this way, which I love how they turned out. I love the more of the black taking over its body with its fur, its little brass knuckles that it has now. It's a total dickhead, and I love it. And then now we have Shadowheart, because there are a lot of Pokemon loosely based off of or totally ripped off from Baldur's Gate companions. So we have Lunapup, who starts off, another little Moonwolf, and when it evolves, it can either evolve with a Moonstone into Lycanope, or with a Duskstone into Lawshound. So these would be representative of Saloon and Char, respectively. I wanted their typings to have them be neutral to one another, so that way they would cancel each other out. So the Fairy Dark is canceled out by the Poison. So there's not really much else to say about that. It's Saloon and Char. So the goddess of the moon, and then the goddess of night, darkness, loss. So yeah, so obviously, a Lunapup would go to somebody who's might show up to somebody who is having some sort of crisis, and depending on how they would deal with that crisis and how they learn to cope with that crisis, would have the dog, the Pokemon, present itself either as a Lycanope, with Saloon representing more like rebirth and hope of a better future, things like that, versus kind of wallowing in your sorrow and kind of giving into it, but still finding power by giving into those negative emotions and embracing that, resulting in Lawshound. So the goddesses of night and the moon had to come hang out. Once again, I took a lot of inspiration for several Pokemon from Baldur's Gate companions. So, Shadowheart staff right there, as far as kind of iconography on the doggos themselves. This is from Brazos region. So Brazos region originally made the Goblin Pokemon that I put out in my video last year, but then I had two other fighting dark Pokemon, so it didn't work out with that, and a handful of other Pokemon. But this fella is one of a couple Pokemon that the Brazos region over on Instagram helped make for the region. So this little hermit crab, it's a hermit crab, but it's living. It basically, the idea was just, I want a hermit crab that lives in wizard stuff, and it accidentally finds a globe of invulnerability. So as it evolves, so we have this little guy. It's got a spell scroll inside of his little potion bottle that he made his home. And when he evolves, there's more scrolls and a globe of invulnerability that that evolves around him. I wanted to have a hermit crab so damn bad. I needed my crustal, and this is my crustal. He's adorable, and I would do anything for him. So yeah, Crabward and Crustress. So I love him. He's so cool. He's one of my favorite Pokemon. Like, he would like almost guaranteed have to be on my final team. I wanted to have good bugs, you know. I wanted to have good solid bugs. So even the weaker bugs, like Buzzlet and Gruboil, have good typing. So even if their base stat total is only in the low 400s, like, they're still gonna have their uses because of their solid typing. And same thing with Crustress. Bugwater is a really solid typing. Gets rid of that fire weakness. Gets rid of, I think it gets rid of the rock weakness as well. But yeah, good solid typing on there. Love Crustress. And then Kobling. So this Pokemon's made by Trainer Mats. This was the first Pokemon that he made for me after my starters. I wanted a Cobalt. Hey Dash, welcome back, buddy. I wanted the Cobalt. Kobolds are little lizard people that are descended from dragons, but they're not dragons, but they love dragons and they serve dragons. And a lot of them make little cults around dragons. So these are for Kindred all the way up through Volcavolt. These are the little fellas that are gathering resources for those red dragons because they want to be a dragon so darn bad. And when they get to level like 25 or something like that with a dragon in the party, they'll evolve into Dracold, which, even though it gains the dragon type, is only like kind of a dragon. I wanted it to be still maintain it being more like a Drake, but it has these little tiny wings on there. Can't remember the word now that I'm doing this live. Wait, they're just for show. They don't actually work. I mean, he might be able to reposition himself a little bit and like get a little bit of a speed boost going on, but he can't fly with these bad boys. I want him to be a little derpy and adorable. So just like this is derpy and adorable, this is still derpy and adorable. So this is our weak dragon. I also love like things like Etheria, which I love Etheria, but Etheria is not that good. I wanted to have a weak early game dragon because even the worst dragons are still strong Pokemon. So I wanted this to be like our sub 500 base stat total, just like mid game at the most, homie. And that's Dracold. And I love Kobling and Dracold. They're the dudes. And I love them. But moving on, we got Chimera and Chimeroar. So these are chimeras. But they're also representative of just I wanted to do like Eldritch Knights. So with the fire and the poison, they still have some magic about them. So the front, the lion body, very playful, very lovable, wants to make lots of friends. The snake tail, not so much. The snake tail is a giant jerk. And as they evolve, the fact that it hasn't been able to make a lot of friends as it grows up, when it evolves, it is a little bit more aggressive. But if you have a good trainer, then the snake heads calm down a little bit, and then the Chimeroar gets to have a little bit of problem. Very fast, very physically strong. I think that, I don't know, for its ability, once again, this is one of the few Pokemon I thought about its ability. If it's either poisoned or burned, the opposite type of move will do additional damage, or it would have like a Venoshock type move, but like a physical one that would work. If the opponent is burned or poisoned and you use this move on them, it does extra damage. So like a physical Venoshock, I think, would be its signature ability. But yeah, gotta get our Chimera. He's cool. We're back to Bogey. We're back to Hero for these designs. And then we have Ensor, Tridra, sorry, and Heptydra. So I wanted to have a Hydra. So once again, this is the Hydra. It's also a crap, I can't remember. I forgot which type of barbarian, but it's also a barbarian. I'm brain farting on it right now. I'll have to put it in some notes later. But I wanted to do just straight water. I know that for the Hydra, my initial thought was to do water electric, but there's already a water electric, and there's going to be another water electric later. Spoiler alerts. So I just wanted to keep it pure water. Pure water is a solid typing. This would be a bulky boy, or it would either have a lot of HP or really high defenses, or maybe both. Just because obviously, the whole idea with the Hydra is, you remove one of its heads, you get more of them, it gets more powerful. So I think that maybe it would have an ability similar to stamina, but it might increase their attack whenever they get hit, so something like Rage Fist, but as an ability, as opposed to a move. But yeah, so it's a Hydra. It starts off as a cute little dinosaur. It gets some more heads. I wanted it to kind of eat all of them each to have their own personality. So similar to the the derpy dragon meme, or to the Executor heads. So they all have slightly different personalities going on for each of the heads as they continue to evolve. So that was the idea with the Hydra Pokemon. So I love him. Now, the Mind Flayer. Ceramite, and no, it's a Lithoid. It's a Lithoid. The name's wrong. I'll have to fix that. Future Sean, put a Lithoid there. So it's Ceramite and a Lithoid. So Ceramites are very, very physically frail. They would have Neurats and other easily suggestible Pokemon or people go and gather food for them. Sometimes occasionally those Pokemon or people would end up being his food, because Mind Flayers eat brains. So sorry. Once something is no longer useful anymore, it gonna eat you. And even when they evolve into a Lithoid, so this I talked about in my video that I did last year, but I love the way that the robe that would be on a Mind Flayer kind of comes down on these tentacles. So this is obviously, it's not a robe, it's not wearing clothes. The actual Pokemon is, this. It's the arms, it's the head, it's a little bit of the torso here where this rib cage is, but the rest of it, like this, from its waist down, are tentacles that it's kind of using to prop itself up to make it look tall and imposing. The kind of like bone armor, like forcefully making its way out, also to try to make it look physically imposing, physically intimidating, even though it's not. Mind Flayers are cool. Mind Flayers are cool. This was designed by Trainer Mats. Once again, he did the starters and Dracold, and a handful of the other Pokemon that we have here. But yeah, this would be like the signature Pokemon for the evil team. The Psychic Dark type. They would be relying mostly on Psychic and Dark type Pokemon for the evil team. I have the grunt for the evil team's design. I'll probably grab that once we get to the end of the Pokedex and can talk a little bit about it if people still want to hear about it. But moving on, we have another fighter. We have Monkey, get it. Brawl Key, get it. And Meditape, which is going to gain the Psychic typing, so fighting Psychic. I debated just keeping it fighting, and if I ever turn this into a game, it might just keep fighting. But this is Sunsoul Monks, and also Saiyans, because reasons. Duh, you can tell with the orange on the pants here and the hairstyles as it evolves. It's got the spiky hair, and then as it gets more powerful and it's cultivating its power, it gets more and more. So it's a combination of Sunsoul Monks and Saiyans. I thought the Psychic typing made the most sense. Since for Monks, power is coming from your chi, your ki. So that I thought made more sense to be Psychic versus anything else. So these would be a mixed attacker fighting Pokemon similar to Lucario, but having that Psychic typing that Lucario probably should have had in the first place, except for the little metal bracers and the spikes. I know it's supposed to be Orochalum or whatever. I can't pronounce the metal's name. But yeah, so I wanted to have a Sunsoul Monkey. I wanted to have a Wukong. We had toyed with a few different animals to be the inspiration for this, but in the end, I was very insistent on the monkey, but I wanted it to be different than the monkey Pokemon that already exist. And I think that the hero did a really great job with that. We have our playful little, similar to Chimchar type of Pokemon, but a little bit bigger. And then when it evolves, I wanted to get a little bit more stout because it's cultivating its power, it's cultivating mass. And then eventually, when it gets to its final form, so to speak, I mean, yeah, I mean, it basically is. Yeah, because it was, the problems were trying to make it different than Infernape, because Infernape is obviously inspired by Wukong. And I was like, make a Saiyan. And it's like, okay, well, that's just Infernape. So it took a while to get where we wanted to go, but I'm really, really glad that Hero fought through my nagging and made it, because I'm really happy with how it turned out. So yeah, let's meditate. And then this little guy, more fellas. All the grass Pokemon are fellas, you know? So we got Sproutly, we got Okent, and we got Elderwood. So I wanted to have an Ent. You have an Ent. But of course, you're very small. And I wanted to have them be grand, big, silly boys. I wanted to have an Ent. I wanted it to be silly. That's exactly what it is. I love Sproutly. I love that his seed eyes are not even planted the same, because obviously when you plant seeds, they don't all fall exactly the same. And then that's a fun little design detail that I missed the first time. So we got that. And then he's just like, what are you going to do? You know, he gets his arms are all the way up the tree, which is insane. And then finally, he's a big silly boy. He's still a big silly boy. I wanted a tree beard. So I got Treebeard. I wanted Treebeard and I got him. So these are Mud Snap and Hydropin are inspired by dragon turtles. So not a specific class, but it's a monster again. And obviously I could have gone with Water Dragon, but because we already have the five chromatic dragons, and there's going to be more dragons later on, all the legendary Pokemon are dragons. Even though it is a dragon turtle, I wanted to do a different typing on there. I love Dreadnought. Dreadnought is one of my, Dreadnought might be my favorite Gen 8 Pokemon. It's one of my favorite water Pokemon. So I really wanted to have a dragon turtle. I really wanted to have a snapping turtle. And I thought that the Hero did a really good job of differentiating Mudsnap and Hydropin from Choodle and Dreadnought. I think it came out really, really good. And obviously amazing typing. This is a monster of a Pokemon in a Nuzlocke. Thanks, Yamil. I think so too. I love Elderwood. But yeah, so this big boy is a fella. I love him. Love Hydropin, love Mudsnap. But now, I know that I had mentioned that Cobrite was our Geodude before, but I would be remiss if I didn't have the actual representative of the rock fella in the party. So we have Minor, Forjor, and Warlord. So these are inspired by dwarves. And the I can't remember the type of barbarian that only dwarves can be. I think it's a blood rager or something like that. So that would be inspired by these. Obviously, dwarves are known for mining and for their love of axes and bashing things. So Minor, I literally wanted it to be crap. What's that little Mega Man guy? The Mega Man bad guy with the construction cap on. Oh my god, I'm brain farting. This is what happens. I didn't write a script. Little construction hat dude. A Met. Yes. All right. So I said I want there to be I want a dwarf, and I want the first stage to be a Met. So I got that. I was very happy with that. And then as he got bigger, I wanted it. So Forjor, I want the little backpack he's wearing so he can Minecraft his way through tunnels. These things would have built ancient cities and whatnot underground, just like the dwarves of most Western mythology and storytelling. So we got Forjor doing his thing there, and then of course Warlord, taking those skills and reforging, envisioning themselves as a fighter. So those are our dwarves. So I wanted to have Or in the name. So just like, Aaron, Agron, and Larion had the iron in their name, or some variation of iron in each of their names. I wanted to have Or in all names. The diamond on the beard is a really nice touch. But yeah, I wanted these to be like ancient sentries slash little fellas. Battle Rager. Thank you, Beck. Coming in clutch there, bud. Thank you so much. So yeah, those are our dwarves. But moving from the dwarves, we have our succubi. So we have Sizimp, Flamora, and Selfrace. So Fire Dark, great typing. Got that Incineroar going on. I wanted there are few exceptions, but I wanted the humanoid Pokemon to be subtly humanoid. So I think the hero did a really good job with, the little imp becoming, you all know what you're looking at. You got to have some of that bait in there. And then when it evolves, once again, you got the little heart devil tail going on there. It loses its face would still be underneath this kind of witch's hat with the with the devil horns coming out, but it's like the implication of it trying to enthrall you, I'll say. So yeah, Sizimp, Flamora, Selfrace. So these are our succubus Pokemon. Yeah, I thought that people would like that. So yeah, so that's that. That's all I'll say for our devil lady Pokemon. Needs more cake. Damn, Beck. All right, we have Riptike and Thrashark. Once again, I love just I thought about water ice as the typing, and if I ever make this into a proper ROM hack or fan game, I might give Riptike and Thrashark the ice typing. I feel a lot of this more metallic looking blues on there could lend itself to being little ice things. But this is our fish. This is our Carvana. This is our Sharpedo. These are our basic boys. So, obviously there's a giant shark in D&D, but this would just be like a general barbarian. Nothing specific. So, Riptike and Thrashark, I needed more fish because I was like, I ain't got no fish. Nice, Aragon. Oh, true. Yeah, it could be steel as well. Yeah, true storm barbarians. But yeah. So that's that. Thrashark and Riptike. I love their designs. I just love them. They're really cool. I love the hooks. You got the hook here. There's hooks everywhere. There's so many sharp points for this dude to do. Ooh, a Bulliet. Yeah. That's a good point, Beck. Yeah, like a water Bullet. That's a good point. But just really cool sharks. But now we have our ranger. We have our typical ranger. Once again, I said I wanted the snowy owl. I said I wanted it to be an archer, but I said I didn't want it to be Decidueye because I have to have my snowy owl. So we have Frostlet and Arctoshot. I love. So obviously, Frostlet, its wing, it can freeze the tip of its feathers and then throw them, kind of like darts or ninja stars in its first stage. But in its final form, its tail basically becomes an ice crossbow. So being an arcane archer, or a hunter ranger, same type of idea. But yeah, Arctoshot and Frostlet. I wanted the snowy owl archer, or just an owl archer in general, and then we landed on a snowy owl. That way we could have it be different from Rowlet and their line. And then how do we do that so that way they're not shooting it with with their wing like the Decidueye does. So the thought to make the tail a crossbow, it's 10 out of 10. I love Arctoshot. It's a shame that it's an ice Pokemon, but I love it. I wanted an ice archer owl Pokemon, so we got it. And I think he looks amazing. And he's different enough from Decidueye that it's just like how Meditape is similar to Infernape. It is its own Pokemon with its own identity. And I think it turned out really, really great. And then a Mimimau. So this Mimimau looks like a treasure chest because of course it does. I really, really did not know what type to give a Mimic. And then Hero and I decided on just normal. Because it can be whatever. It's just a thing. Things are normal. So this Mimimau is a chest. And I would imagine that the Mimimaus that you find in a theoretical game are chests. But technically, a Mimic could be anything. So you could have, True, yeah, Ditto's normal, so same type of thing. So yeah, a Mimima could turn into whatever, but this, in its natural state, mimics are typically or historically chests. So we have our mimic. I love him. I love that the Pokeball is its eye is a Pokeball, but even it is like kind of wrong. It's upside down. So it's a really, really neat design. I didn't know how to make a mimic Pokemon. I was like, I want a mimic Pokemon, but I don't really know what to do. And then Hero's just like, I got you, dude. And he had me. He got me, dude. It's really good. Lieutenant Surge Puzzle is just a mimic den. God, don't give me any ideas. And then coming up on, I think this is Pokemon 100, so we're past halfway now. Or we're coming up on 100. We have Arcor. So these little fellas would have been, not initially have been Pokemon, but like in ancient times when we had our magic technology, Arcors would have been our generators. So these are our Magnemites. These are our Voltorbs. I know that that's not how they work in Japanese culture. They're I can't remember the word for it, but they're things that come to life after 100 years, and that's why Voltorb's number 100. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Magic technology turned into a Pokemon, and this is based off of Armor Artificers because it can split evolve. So it can either become Cortress, so it sockets itself into a big burly boy, and it becomes a big old tanky boy that punches things with its thunder gauntlets, or it becomes a Corvolt. It can go into a swifter, special attacking with these cannon things. So Armor Artificers there's a third Armor Artificer now, but there were only two when we designed these last year. So you have your Juggernaut, and then you have your Infiltrator. So a cool split evolution idea. I knew what I wanted with this. I did not know what I wanted with this. And Hero, it's really good. I'm really happy with how how Corvolt turned out. No, not Yokai Galaxy. It's a different word. Yokai are just spirits or evil spirits, I think. But no, there's an actual thing. It's like if an object exists for 100 years, it gains sentience. I forget what the concept is called. But thank you, Dash. Sugiyomi or Sugi. I'm not gonna ruin the word. Y'all know the word. You can see it right there. Tsukumogami. A guy stole my wallet and Aragorn, there was a meme I saw where it was like a guy stole my wallet and shot it. Turns out it's seen a mimic for 12 years. But then the thing that happens after that is I laughed, he laughed, the gun laughed. Oh, okay, cool Galaxy. Got it. But yeah, that's a good meme. Tokumigami. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now moving back on to the Pokedex. Speaking of living things gaining, unliving things gaining sentience, this is from Brazos again. So we have Jolixir, we have Jelkalist, and Alchemax. So I wanted to have a gelatinous cube becoming a Pokemon. So it would start off as a volatile potion that gains sentience, and it's adorable and it's cute and I love him and he's my whole wide world. And I wanted, as it evolved and got bigger and became this horrible monstrosity, I still wanted it to have the cute little face. I still wanted it to be a little fella, even as it was becoming like, a murderer on like untold levels. Corvolt Mega says, yeah, a little bit. So I love Alchemax. I wanted, like I said, it to maintain its little fellaness. So yeah, I wanted to go with normal because once again, it's just kind of like goo. And then the poison, obviously, because gelatinous cubes are corrosive. So the poison, I thought the normal and the poison typing made sense. So yeah, kind of like adorable muck in that regard. But it would have been born from a volatile potion versus it being poop. So that's Alchemax in its forms. I love them so much. But now I wanted to have our Kraken. So we have Voltical and Absurge. So it's a Kraken. I love the water electric typing. I know that our starter is water electric, so I was a little hesitant on having another water electric Pokemon, but there are like a million grass poison types. So like I decided to just shut up and do it. And that was the other thing, Dash. I didn't want it to just be poison. I thought that normal would be a really good secondary typing because you're getting rid of your fighting weakness with the poison, and you are immune to ghost. So very few weaknesses. Obviously, you still have to worry about psychic and ground. But I thought it would do a really good job of covering a lot of its weaknesses by adding that normal typing in there. Damn, Kang, I'm sorry, man. Hey, no worries, but you're back, though. You're back now, and you're here for Absurge, our Kraken. So this is back to Hero again with Absurge. I love that you can kind of see the electricity it's kind of like the electrical energy going on in the top of its head. Into its squid body. I don't know what the technical term would have been really, but so I love Absurge so much. I thought it'd be a really cool dude. All right, I'm gonna do this Pokemon and then I'm gonna throw it out there. I really have to pee, so Sean, remember to edit that out too. So I wanted a Hexblade and I wanted it to be the weapon. The weapon is the Pokemon. And as it gets stronger, it summons a body to fight for it. So your instinct is going to be to attack the body. But the body is not the Pokemon. The weapon is the Pokemon. So we have Villain, which is villain and hand, Villusion, and Vilemorn. So this small scythe, as it gains power, it'll eventually become this big boy. Ghost Dark, great typing. Duh, come on. So I wanted it to summon this ethereal knight, but just like how a Hexblade Warlock is getting their power from the weapon, I wanted the weapon to be the Pokemon. I love Ceruledge so much. So I wanted to have, a Hexblade Ceruledge. Hey, what's going on, Mabe? Welcome to the party, my dude. So yeah. So that was the inspiration for that. I think it turned out really, really well. I didn't want it to just be a sword because obviously there are going to be some other sword Pokemon guys. So the idea that Hero took to make it a scythe, and it just starts off as, like a small scythe that you would use, for gardening or whatever with the hand. I was like, I don't know how I want to do this, but this is what I want to do. And he knocked it completely out of the park. It's really, really cool. I love Vilemorn. He the homie. But yeah, so that's Vilemorn. What's going on, Dark Spider? And now I am gonna run to the bathroom quick because I gotta pee. I drank so much coffee before I started this because I knew it would be going for a long time. So give me just a minute, guys and gals. I'll be right back. Hey there. Boom. We're back. Okay. going on, Dark Spider? Might have Age Slash. Yeah, I wonder if it had it. I don't have a dice Pokemon, but if in like the lore story of the game, and now my dog wants to go outside. It's terrible. Hold on. But yeah, MacGuffins within the world would definitely be this isn't what I wanted. Different MacGuffins of the world would be dice shaped. I don't know why it does this all the time. There we go. I put on a certain playlist because I know it's not going to flag. I know it's not going to flag, and for whatever reason, it keeps on switching, and I don't know why YouTube like wants me to get flagged. Nice Spider. We're definitely gonna be playing some fusion once we finish up the decks, and I talk a little bit more about that. But I've really wanted to do this for so stinking long. Do we have any Ranger Fighter type? So, I mean, yeah, there are some specifically fighter Pokemon. I wanted to have as many like animals as I could. There's not a lot of humanoid Pokemon that would necessarily be specific fighter Pokemon, or like dudes with swords and stuff. But they're coming. They're coming. Don't you worry. Because next we have Empyro, who is just a living embodiment of the overwhelming desire to cast Fireball. So it's Ziggs from League. It's Ziggs. It's Ziggs. So I wanted it to be part artillerist, artificer. And then part, like I said, the overwhelming desire for you to just spam Fireball the moment you hit level 5 as a wizard. So that's the thought with Empyro. It's Bomb, quote unquote, who we're gonna meet very soon, is the fire elemental. So it's this just crazy little red panda thing using the remains of a fire elemental to just blow things up at will. So that's the idea for Empyro, which is going to lead us into our spectator / beholder Pokemon. So we have Orblink and Xanathorb. So somebody, I forget who, might have been you back, pointed out that Xanathorb does not have enough eyeballs to be a beholder. Technically, it would only be a spectator. But I did also want to maybe add Megas at some point. So that'd be fine, because Mega Xanathorb would have all the appropriate number of eyeballs. So this design is going back to Trainer Matt. So Orblink, I wanted to have a cute little fella to be our first form of our beholder Pokemon. I didn't want it to realize how strong it was. I didn't so it makes friends with a lot of smaller Pokemon. So think like Neurat or Koblings, things like that. Pokemon, it likes to explore and hang out with other Pokemon that are gathering things. But it tries to help, but what it doesn't realize is that it's got two big old death rays, hanging out on the top of its head. So it does not make very many friends. So by the time it gets more powerful and becomes Xanathorb, it is a much more malevolent Pokemon. I wanted to differentiate it from, I thought that Poison would be a good secondary typing for it, as opposed to Dark, just because of all of the different debilitating effects that beholders have. So each one of its eye stalks has a different power, whether it's paralysis or poison or just blowing something up or mind control. Each one of these eyes does something different, and since most of those things end up being just like kind of like negative bad effects, I thought Poison was a good secondary typing for it. It's just a giant eye with multiple irises. As I'm like, yeah, right. I don't know, but I really love it. I love the shadow that it like kind of self casts upon itself. Matt did a really great job with this. I think that Orblink, like, if there was if this was a real game and like you got to get your plushie, like you go to Build-A-Bear and you build your Orblink, you know what I mean? Like, this is our cute little fella. This is our selling point. This is our slime. This is our slime. And I love Orblink I love Orblink to pieces. And Xanathor's a homie. Now Drillfin, and I intercapped this wrong. but that's fine. And Corsarock. So I wanted to have a swordfish be a swashbuckler rogue, but I had to think of a cool secondary typing for it because I was pretty sure at some point down the line I'm going to have another water steel Pokemon. So we came this is going back to Hero. So we came up with the idea of having it be water rock, because water rock is a fun typing combination. I love making not bad rock Pokemon. I feel like most of the rock Pokemon I've made, their secondary typing is try to cover up a lot of the badness that rock Pokemon end up with. So, you know, pirates would use these guys to drill through caves or to try to basically make caves for their hideouts and whatnot. Additionally, looking for buried treasure right there. So this is our swashbuckler rogue, Corsarock and Drillfin. So, you know, these guys are big old treasure hunters. I wanted to, when it evolves, not even when it evolves, I wanted it to have a cross guard as part of it, not just the drill, because I wanted to, obviously it can use it as a drill because it's a drill, but I also wanted it to kind of have that swashbuckly sword fightingness. So the fact that it can parry with its face, I thought would be a fun little thing to add into the design. So, you know, those are our swashbuckler rogue Pokemon, Drillfin and Corsarock. Thanks, Cancrew. I'll talk to you later, man. Thanks for popping in. But yeah, no, I'm really excited to keep on, you know, posting these on Instagram and getting the actual, you know, full video out. I got to cut this up and edit it. It'll probably, I mean, we've been going for almost an hour and a half on just this, so it'll end up being a long boy. It'll be a long boy video, but I hope people like it. Now we're gonna get into our elementals. So we have Ignos and Elderforge. So this is our fire elemental. I mean, it's a bomb and it evolves into Ragnaros. So that's that. I love him. He's cool. He got a big old hammer. I mean, I literally said, man, make Ragnaros. So we made Ragnaros. We have our cool Ragnaros Pokemon. I thought about making him Fire Rock, but I was like, no, it's a fire elemental. I know what, you know, his hammer is magma, hardened magma or whatever, but he's just a fire. He's just fire. But then we have Drop Lice. So the way I wanted to differentiate this, I wanted it to be, you know, they're all big and burly, but I want, once again, more Warcraft inspiration. I said, how about like the Lich King? So here we go. We got our Lich King, dual wielding ice swords. So we have Frosthide and Drop Lice. I love that his little frost swords are like little little tiny like long fingernail dagger things that eventually become these cool, intimidating, you know, giant icicle swords. So I love Frosthide. You know, good solid typing. You know, not a lot of weaknesses on there. So love Frosthide. And then we got Peblor. Peblor's a fella. Peblor's fella. We got Rock and Ground, and he will evolve into Cragrock. So we didn't quite know how to make this. I wanted to be a big fella, but we didn't quite know how to make it physically different to Elderforge. So I like the direction the hero went with this, where it has to drag itself around on its hands, because it doesn't have legs. It just kind of has this little like, or its legs are very small, so it can't really stand up or move around properly on its own. So big, slow, imposing, boom. So yeah, Peblor, Cragarrock, and then finally we have Nimbus and Cyclender. Ooh, that's great. Hey, Darkspire, that's great, man. But yeah, we have Nimbus and Cyclender as our air elemental. So obviously, you know, electric and flying. Once again, I wanted to have flying Pokemon that weren't just birds. So it's, you know, adorable little dude just turning into giant, this giant tornado. If it's a golem. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, Ash. Yeah, it's golem if it kept Geodude's shape. Or yeah, totally. But yeah, I love the way that all these elementals turned out. Once again, we're back to hero with these designs. Same thing with Corsarock. So now more fellas. Once again, I didn't realize this until last night. All the grass Pokemon are fellas. So these are Myconoid Pokemon. So it'd also be Circle of the Spores Druid. So we have Numbush, Mushade, and Fungoroth. So grass poison. Yeah, you got to have a grass poison. You always need a grass poison. So obviously, you know, Myconoids are a hive mind mushroom people race that live in the Underdark. So that's what they do. Fungoroth, I think, would be like a really tall Pokemon. It would be like almost as tall as Elderwood, just a big old dude. But all the grass Pokemon are fellas. Numbush is adorable. Growing up, Oddish was one of my favorite Pokemon, so I wanted to just have like a little dude. So you know, I love Numbush. I love them all. And yeah, no, Hero really went like above and beyond, because it could have just been like, I was like, make it bigger. Like, I don't know. Like, literally, I just said, like, I want a Myconoid Pokemon. I think that was the only note that I gave him. Myconoid Pokemon. And then he did, and then completely different mushroom types and shapes and colors as they get larger. Like, I don't give a lot of notes because I feel like the artist knows better than me. But also the fact that with, like, how little notes I gave, how good all of these turned out is really just showing like how great, not the hero especially, because he did most of these designs, but all four of the artists that worked on this. Like, it's really, really great. Clubbonk, this is just a giant, so it's a hill giant. So it's our, once again, even though he's big, he's still fella. Grass ground. I wanted to have a giant, and I wanted, the only thing that made it a grass Pokemon is the fact that it would hit you with a tree. So we have Clubbonk and Bashlog are our hill giant Pokemon. So yeah, so this big fella is out there just doing the damn thing. So I once again, I don't have a lot of humanoid Pokemon, but I really love this. I love you know, the spike, how small, you know, honestly, how tiny his head is, with the kind of mossy grass running down his back. You know, you got these big old crag pads on him, covered in mud. I love Clubbonk. I love Bashlog. They're doing their thing. I mean, yeah, Woodhammer is as literal as Woodhammer will ever get. But this was one of the last designs that I had asked for. At this point, I already had over 200 Pokemon, and I realized that I was missing something very important. So these, we have Kenkri, or Kenkrai, Kencrone, and Kencoven. I wanted a Hag Pokemon, and I also wanted a Kenku Pokemon. And I didn't know how to get both of those things because we already had so many Pokemon. So Hero put both of those things together, and they turned out awesome. Kenku can't fly. Kenku are humanoid crows that were cursed to no longer be able to speak and no longer be able to fly. So Kenku can only communicate by mimicking sounds that they've heard before. So, you know, having a vulture that can't fly, I thought was a really cool way to kind of take the hag aesthetic, that swampy aesthetic, and you know, because having like these gross like talon arms and stuff like that, and the big, you know, warty nose looking beak, you know, all these things that you would expect from a hag, and then sticking it on a bird. I thought that those two designs together were really, really awesome. So it was a really, really great idea on Hero's part to combine the two of those guys. And no, Galaxy, we're close to the Griffin though. We're getting there, man. But yeah, that's our dudes. Kencrone, and Kencoven. And then Lumini. We have Lumini and Prismane. I wanted to have a unicorn, and I needed it to be different than Galarian, Ponyta, and Rapidash. And that is all I told him. I said, I want a unicorn. I want it to be fairy. It needs to be different than Rapidash. And I love this big hairy mess. Love the big hairy mess. And then even when it evolves, you know, this glorious, you know, beard mane thing to kind of really capture the fairy, the celestial part of it. It's gorgeous with his little fuzzy bell bottoms going on here. It was a really, really awesome way to differentiate itself from Cotton Candy Pony. So Lumini and Prismane, love. 10 out of 10. They're some of my favorite fairy Pokemon that the hero had designed. So yeah, once again, not necessarily a specific class, but you know, unicorns are one of the are celestials in D&D. I wanted to have some more celestial representation, and this was an excellent Pokemon. Now this is an Orthon, so I wanted to. So Orthons are a type of devil. If you played Baldur's Gate, it's what Yerger is. They're big, rocky fighters. So we have Swinal, Cragtusk, and then finally Obsidiboar. We wanted to. I wanted to combine an Orthon with Ganon. So that's how we got this. I couldn't figure out what typing to make it exactly. And then that's when Hero came up with the idea of using the Rock Dark. Go for that Tyranitar typing. This is a big old beefy fella, just like Tyranitar. It's gonna find a way to overcome its horrible typing with just insane brute strength. So, but yeah, so I really like the way that the design kind of worked out, especially with Obsidiboar. Because taking some of the design notes you see from Orthons, so I mean the easiest example is Yerger, because most people have played Baldur's Gate 3 that are consuming any D&D stuff now. So having the kind of the skulls in there as like little trophies as it's gotten bigger and whatnot, and having these like, obsidian blades with them their entire way, I was always a little skeptical of having Pokemon wielding weapons, and I know that Tinkaton exists, and there are Pokemon that have. Glade has its sword arms, but those are like more theoretical sword arms. They're not like literal sword arms. But with this, it was impossible for it not to just be having two giant, rock knives. So it was really, really awesome. I love Obsidiboar and all of its stages. He very big. He a big boy. Now for our Deva. So this is our typical Celestial. So we have Celestial, Terraforge, and Luminarch. There is a unused Cambion, which is like the mirror of this, but I already had other Fire Dark Pokemon with Sulfurous, and it felt weird just like reassigning types just so I wouldn't have parity. But so I love that it's humanoid, but not really, which makes sense for it being a Celestial, which also like just angel stuff in general. Like it's a person, but it's not. And I love the flail arm. I love that its arms are flails. Like it's like here, it's like, oh, like it's a little fella. And oh, like clearly those are gauntlets it's wearing. But no, these are its arms. It is otherworldly. It is not, it is an otherworldly being. You have the mask on there, which is some more celestial stuff going on. It looks humanoid. It looks human, but it is not human. And I really love Luminarch, Terraforge, and Celestial. Obviously, Fairy Steel is a really great typing. I wanted to have some Fairy Steel in there. I wanted to have a Deva. I wanted, when I was trying to think, what Celestials I wanted to have, obviously, I Deva was right at the top of that list. So, yeah, so really, really great Pokemon. I really love the design notes on that. I didn't know what to expect. I was like, if it was going to look more like a Valkyrie, like taking like this type of design, it could have been a more like, looking, like I said, more like a Valkyrie or something like that. But then you just go this direction, and it is, I did not expect it, and I love it. It turned out so great. But now we got our Owlbear. So this was originally a 3-stage Pokemon, but number one, I had too many Pokemon, and number two, I felt like it was a little redundant. So we have Kaboot, and we have Noctavage. So I wanted to do normal fighting. At first, I thought maybe just fighting. Then I thought fighting flying. Then I thought just normal or normal flying. But I think normal fighting works. They don't fly, so flying doesn't make any sense. They are bears, but they also like bashing things. So in the end, I thought that normal fighting was a solid type for it. But yeah, the middle stage was just a slightly smaller Noctavage, which it was a good design and I loved it. I asked for a 3-stage. I actually think Hero even said maybe it should be 2, but I reduced it down to a 2-stage, and I really love Noctavage. So this is like our Snorlax. This is our little fella becomes big fella, But yeah, you got to have an Owlbear Pokemon. I love this big angry mama bear. It is everything I could have hoped for with an Owlbear Pokemon, and I really like it a lot. Exactly, yeah. there were a couple Pokemon that we're gonna be getting in the back like quarter of the decks here that had more stages, but I reduced them. So next up are Phaedron. So Phaedron are Eladrin elves. So they're just like how there are 4 seasons for the Eladrin. We have 4 Phaedron. So we have autumn, winter, spring, and summer. So primary typing would be fairy, obviously, but then just like Oricorio, you can change their secondary typing. But it wouldn't just change their secondary typing, it would also rearrange their stats. They would all have the same base stat total of, you know, like whatever. It wouldn't be super high, like 470 or something like that. It would have like a very middle of the road, but it would do different stuff and learn different moves depending on which form it took. So yeah, I wanted an Eladrin elves. I wanted to have an Eladrin elf Pokemon. Didn't know how to make them not just dudes. So these little like Fraggle fairies that that Hero made, I think are really, really great. I wanted there to be 2 martial ones and then 2 magic ones. Exactly, Mabe. So I really like him. So like the grass one would probably have the grass one would probably play a similar role to like Whimsicott. So it would be like a drain, like a de facto like drain tank, maybe prankster, something like that. You know, either the ice one would be, even though it's ice type, it would have higher defenses. It would because it has the shield going on there. The fire one would be faster with higher physical attack. And then you would maybe have like a just like a straight like normal tanky one with some debuffs and what, like, you know, some like spikes and stealth rocks and things like that with the ground one. But yeah, no, it'd definitely be like support, fast, tanky, just debilitating. So those would be the kind of the different things that the different Phaedron would do. So they came out really, really good. Ooh, ground one. Oh, that'd be cool if the ground one would set up different terrain. See, like there's all sorts of options, but they all turned out really, really cool. This is the second or third revision on them. It was another thing when it was so funny working with Hero on all of these Pokemon. It would be like he would send me a thing, and I'd be like, "Oh, it looks great. This is great." And like the Google Drive would update, like for certain Pokemon, the Google Drive like final draft for some of these Pokemon would like wildly change, like 3, 4, 5 times after I said it was good. So like he worked really hard on all these, and they all came out so freaking good. Now this was another one that I said I want this. I don't know what it's gonna be, and he just knocked out of the park. So this is an animated armor. I toyed with making it either steel fighting or steel normal or steel ghost, but I decided to just keep it straight steel. Because a lot of my Pokemon have secondary typings, and I needed fewer of them. So we have, oh no, oh, it's so unprofessional. All right, we have Scraplet, who evolves in to Metalion, and then who evolves into Agelord. So the only note that I gave was, I wanted it to be a little fella that became more powerful as it got big, and when it becomes its final form, I wanted it to be Igris from Solo Leveling. I was like, I want it to be small and derpy, and then I want it to be the most awesome knight ever. My dog's barking to come in, so give me 1 sec. You gotta chill, Maze. There we go. My stuff just keeps falling down in my office, and I don't even know what it is. Anyways, but yeah, so Scraplet, so it's got a little knife. It doesn't even have 2 hands. He's kind of like a little derpy dude. And then now, you know, Metallin, it can still like barely stand up, but at least it's fully formed. And then when it becomes Angel Lord, it is this fully just like unstoppable badass night monster. So I really love where can we donate to more Hans or to Tip Hero? I mean, part of why I mean, he would have to agree to want to work with me again. If I do another region, like I said, I want to do my New England region. I want to do it very badly, but I would want to pay him something, because he did all this for free for me. And these commissions, if I had paid for all these out of pocket, it would cost a lot of money. And he was nice enough to do, 150 Pokemon for me for nothing. And I haven't been able to give the attention to these that I wanted to, for a bunch of different reasons. So I don't know yet, Beck, but if he agrees to work with me some more, we can go from there. Because there are more Pokemon that I did not use in this final dex on purpose, because they're Pokemon that I think that I would want to use later on. But I'm still going to show off all their concept arts and stuff, on my Instagram. But that's also part of why I'm doing this subathon thing, is so maybe we can do more of these. But anyways, this is Angel Lord the homie. Yeah, I thought, but I'm glad that you agree with the straight up steal, Mabe. But yeah, so now here's our Griffin. So this was another Pokemon that initially had 3 stages. I got rid of the first stage. So I just wanted to keep the middle and the final stage. So we have Griffstrike, and Griffangard. So yeah, the second I saw this, because I think this middle stage was the first one that he showed me, and when I saw the hand wings, I was like, I want a Griffin. I want it to be a Battle Master fighter. That's my only notes. And the fact that the wings are its fists was just like so freaking cool. So this would definitely be, like our late game, Rufflet Braviary. So that's why I figured I can get rid of the first stage. I can have the middle, the new first stage be like a solid, high 300s Pokemon, and then it can evolve into Griffangard and be, a little bit more powerful stat wise than like the starters kind of a thing. But yeah, it is so freaking good. Griffangard came out so well. Griffreich also, I keep trying to say Griffstrike, is Griffreich. But yeah, both of them. I was like, oh damn, hand wings. Yeah, and the crest on it. The initial stage just looked like a little fella, which was fine. But I thought that once again, I was getting high up there in the numbers. It didn't necessarily make sense for me to keep all those Pokemon. So yeah, this is our Battle Master fighter. This is our homie. Griffangard's the dude. Now we have Oliphants. So once again, not a lot of Celestials to choose from. So it was kind of tough to get some good ones, but I thought a Holophant would be good. So we have Cherupuff and Elizabeth. So once again, more flying type Pokemon that are not birds. So part of me initially thought like maybe just have like the one little fella, because but Holophants do get bigger. So Elizabeth, get that guy in there. So he's a big old burly boy. He's absolutely adorable. Cherupuff is like, you must protect this at all costs. And then Elizabeth, takes that, kind of like how when you look at Wailmer going to Whale Lord, Wailmer is a cute little fella. Not that Whale Lord's not cute, but it's just a big fella. You get this cute fella, he a big boy. So yeah, no, I really love the design on this. Once again, all I said was give me a Holophant. I did not do a whole lot in the way of notes for a lot of these Pokemon. Once again, the artist knows better than I do. If anything, I'm going to over design it. So that's that. Now we have our 2 fossils. So I initially had more dinosaurs, but I wanted to save some of the dinosaurs. But I kept the dinosaurs that were fossily dinosaurs. So we have Stegeye and Stegimond. So, the crests on its back are diamond. There's magma flowing down its back here. Once again, it's not necessarily reminiscent of any specific class or monster, but, there are dinosaurs in the D&D. Turning yourself into a T-Rex with polymorph the moment that you get, 5th level spells is something that people like to do. So I wanted to have some dinosaurs. So Stegite and Stegimond are our first fossil Pokemon that we have for that. Followed by Mjoldan and Mjolnir. Ooh, that's a good point. So once again, I feel like I have a lot of electric Pokemon, but yeah. So we got our aggressive Bashy boy, and then our more defensive Diamondbacked fella. Yeah, I mean, that was, I think the only note that I gave was I wanted an Ankylosaurus, but I wanted this tail to be a hammer. And then obviously the, having it be Mjolnir right away just kind of did the thing. Zero, thank you so much for the names. I'm gonna throw it out there. Some of the names I knew what to do, but I would I would go into chat. I'm not going to lie. I would go into chat GPT and I would be like, I want some suffixes that would imply this concept. So like, I knew I wanted Mjolnir to be a part of these guys. I was like, all right, I want Mjolnir. So I was like, what are some words for like shield or basher or smash or something like that? Like what like suffixes can I use for smashing? And then, that's how I would get to, some of these results. Like, oh yeah, its back is as hard as diamonds. So what do I do? And then it'd be like, how about diamond? And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Its back is diamonds. So like, a stalactite, stalagmite, so some of these I just kind of came up with, obviously, but it's also like, what's another word for celestial? So what's another word for heaven? Elysium. All right, cool. So I'll use Elizaphen. So that was how I came up with some of the names. Because when you're coming up with 200 names, it was very hard not to have them all be very similar to each other. Like all the different words I had to find for fire that were not the same thing. Because there's like 30 fire Pokemon. It got tough. Hey, what's going on, Jeremy? But I think this is our final bug. This is for these are liches and it's also their phylacteries. Names are hard. So Scarabit and Phylactazar. So, obviously I just said phylactery, so phylacter, and then Zar, oh my god, I'm brain farting on his name. The dude from what's it called? The dude from where's it called? Where are the necromancers? Thay. There we go. The Thay necromancer. True, but so I went with Ghost since they are supposed to be the phylactery for a lich. So I originally had a lich Pokemon, which I'll show the concept designs for later. But I needed to start cutting some stuff, and I had too many fire Pokemon. I was really excited about it too because I basically made it look like Vivi, from Final Fantasy IX. But I wanted to keep something for the lich. So that's why Scarabit and Phylactazar are still there. So yeah, so there was that. Hey, that's awesome, Jeremy. Congratulations on the new job. But yeah, so those are those guys. I love the kind of like skull design going on here on the crest with its horn. I mean, it's a cool scarab beetle. I love in its first stage how it's a phylactery might be, like a trinket or a coin or something like that. So the fact that it is this like small crest that might be, and also kind of, I mean, it also looks like a skull right here. You got the skull with the nose and the eyes. So you have this kind of like skull trinket, which is this living embodiment of, a lich's immortal power. So anyways, Scarabit and Phylactazar. Now, Sign, Cypher, and Cypheros. So we have some more sultry ladies for all the weebs out there. We got more ladies out there for the weeby boys. Initially, this was grass fairy, but I thought that so this is representative of dryads. I should have said that. But I thought that the fact that they can kind of use their pheromones to enchant and ensnare people, even though that is something that is very Feywild, in terms of Pokemon, that's more of a psychic thing. So yeah, so that's where I got for, and I wanted once again to have a naming convention. So sign, so psychic pine, Cypher, like Fraser fir is a type of pine tree, and then because Cypheros has the pine cones there, and then Phoros is I think a Greek god of forests. I can't remember which culture right now because I've been talking for 2.5 hours straight. But yeah, so I wanted to do something with the pine cones that that Hero had added into the final stage for the naming conventions. Oh, do back the scarab scene from the Mummy? No, thank you. But yeah, 100%. But yeah, Smash. That's me. I'm a wee boy. Oh man. But yeah. So here's our Cypheros. I think that she turned out to be a lovely dryad lady. And now we have Karlach. This was a 3-stage. Once again, I took the first stage out. So it's a combination of Karlach as well as Minotaurs. So it is our Berserker Barbarian. So Malturus and Volcator. So Fire Steel, just like our girl. And these guys, and I love that one of the horns was turned into like an exhaust fan. I thought that was a really, really nice touch from Hero. Basically, I said I wanted the Minotaur that is so hot that it needs to be constantly fighting or it will burn up and die. So having all these exhaust vents on the chest, having the exhaust vent on the horn, I thought it was really, really great design overall. Like I said, most of the companions in Baldur's Gate have some kind of Pokemon associated with them, so this is our Karlach. So I think that she is a magnificent creature. And now we have... So we have Echolur and Glamire. So this is our Starion. Also Strahd, just vampires kind of in general. I thought Ghost Psychic would be good because once again... vampires are enthralling you, and then ghosts because they're undead. I struggled on how I personally struggled on how you were going to make a vampire bat Pokemon that would also be our flamboyant boy that we love so much, but Hero did an excellent job. I know that it is a little weird that it's wearing clothes, but having the fur be kind of the crest here, but just like how Elithoid isn't wearing a robe, its tentacles look like a robe. You know, it's made to look glamorous. Its fur looks like that because it wants you to pay attention. But yeah, the Talon boots, the whole thing. I love him so much. Glamire. I was really struggling with names on this. I was really struggling with names. I was like, well, how do I do vampire? How do I do sexy vampire? And then I was just like, Glam, I guess. So Glam and Sire, for, he's your vampire sire. And then, Echolur, because he's, once again, hypnotizing you, luring you in, echolocation. So that's how I kind of came up with those names as well. But yeah. And then, so this is for more weebs. This is for the opposite spectrum of the weebs. This is for the Shadow the Hedgehog kids. This is Will. And I know I have another dark fighting. So if I were to make this a game, maybe it would be firefighting instead. But we have Impupus, Malhound, and Baelgarm. So this is our Hellhound, who's also Will. He even only has one eye. So this is our Lucario. This is our Shadow the Hedgehog. This is our Edgy Boy. This is, this is what all the 12-year-old boys have their envisioning of the most perfect, most awesome dude in the universe. And I thought it would be really funny to make, because Will is such a good boy, Will is the goodest boy, so that's why he's a dog. But then also he's not an edgelord, but how could you not have a warlock dog not be an edgelord? So here's our edgelord doggo boy. And when Hero drew this for me, I was just like, I hate that it's perfect. I hate that this is perfect. I thought about removing the middle stage. I thought about just going from Impupus all the way to Bailgarm, rather. But I thought that it was an important thing because you have this, determined but cute doggo. And I thought that it kind of evolving into a more sinister looking fella. I thought this would have been too jarring. So I wanted to keep this middle stage. So that this one kept its middle stage. But Bailgarm. So Baal is, one of the devil lords of the nine hells, and then Garm is I think it's Norse mythology. Bailgarm is Hela's big old doggo. So yeah, dark fighting. Initially I think it was dark fire or fire fighting, but I changed it to dark fighting. If I revise this into like an actual like game project, I might change his typing. But I found that there were a lot fewer fighting Pokemon than I thought there would. So he definitely needs to be fighting type. But that's our homie. And then I think this is our last non-legendary Pokemon. So there's Githeri, Gishkar, and Kithrakor. So these are representative, obviously, of Githyanki, but then also Lae'zel. So if we're going from a perspective of Baldur's Gate, so Githeri, I might remove the fighting typing from Githeri, simply because it's just a little, frog elf person. Definitely psychic. The Gith are very good at two things. They're very good at psionics, and they're very good at punching things. And then you have Gishkar, who has the single psionic blade, has some armor and stuff going on there. I love the like Super Saiyan 3 hair going on with Gishkar. And then finally, Kithrakor, full on. Part of me was just like, should it be psychic steel? But once again, I mean, Gith fight, just because it's wearing an approximation of armor doesn't mean that it has to be a steel type. But yeah, so obviously taking from just Gith, the race, then Gish is what a spell sword is in D&D, and it is what the ranking of like a general like guards person would be in the Githyanki, and then a Kithrak is a captain for in Githyanki culture. So Kithrak, so it's Captain Conqueror, or the ORs for Conqueror. So Kithrakor for that there. So yeah, and I thought that I would, and once again, the only note I gave was I want a Githyanki, and I wanted to have lasers, and I wanted to have psi swords, and then that's the only note that I gave, and all three of them are perfect. I love them so much. They are the homies. But yeah, so that's our, I think that's our final non-legendary. Oh no, yeah, okay, just kidding. So now we have our pseudo-legendary. So what D&D anything would be, you couldn't possibly have it be complete without our Tarask. So we have Terranix, Terraloy, and Terranox. So our pseudo-legendary Pokemon, Ground Steel, is a Tarask. So a Tarask is a big ol' impenetrable, immovable murder dinosaur, as far as like the D&D mythos in the world is concerned. So we have Terranox as our the final evolution of our pseudo-legendary Pokemon. The only thing that would be bigger than these boys would be maybe the Terralude, the Tremor Pokemon. But yeah, so that's our pseudo-legendary Pokemon. So that wraps up the regular part of the Dex, which is like, how many Pokemon? Oh gosh, so many darn Pokemon, man. 169 nice Pokemon before you get to the legendaries. So yeah, so that's that. Those are our regular boys and girls. Now, if we step into our legendary Pokemon, which we will do in just a second, we have our legendary trio. So first we have Faithrias, who's a fairy dragon. I said I want Figment to be a Pokemon. If anybody has watched a lot of my streams, I love Disney. I'm wearing my Fantasia hat right now. I'm already planning my second Disney trip of the year in 2 months. I love Disney. I love Figment. Figment's my homie. Figment is the coolest little dragon ever. So, I I wanted a fairy dragon to be Figment. This originally was not a legendary Pokemon. None of these legendary Pokemon, except for the final two, were not originally legendaries. But when I wanted to, as kind of like more of the story in my head started to solidify, I moved some of the Pokemon to being legendaries. So Faith Rias, and then we have Mind Rias, who's a Gem Dragon. So Dragon Psychic. So Gem Dragons, you know, it's an Amethyst Dragon. I love the kind of like scorpion tail a little bit that's going out with the gems here. And then finally you have Othrias. So Dragon Steel. It's a metallic dragon. So the way that it works is our three legendary dragon Pokemon are kind of like keeping the world kind of together. So Faith Rias would be like looking over like the Feywild, for example. It's kind of like mind. It's like spirit. Sorry, it's like spirit, mind, body. So keeping the material plane in check, making sure that everything is working the way that it's supposed to work. So all the rules that are set up for Pokemon to exist on this world and how they interact with us is all run by these three fellas. So, you know, taking kind of like the the time reality and balance stuff, or it says that life, death, and kind of like taking the life, death, and balance that the Gen 6 Pokemon kind of represent. This is doing something similar. But for just different parts of how the world works. And then for our final like two like box legendary Pokemon, you have Dragnarok. So Dragon Dark, and it's Tiamat. So if you know anything about D&D lore, it's it is the queen of chromatic dragons. So each of its 5 heads are just one of the chromatic dragon heads. So the goal of the evil team in this story is to get magic back to humans. So in a very Lex Luthor style, by any means necessary, magic was ours, it got taken away, I want it back. So the bad guys are going to create this to try to, basically make this Pokemon. They suck magic. I can't even, now I'm stuttering too much. I'm like excited about this and I can't even freaking think about it. The bad team is basically stealing magic from Pokemon and trying to make their own Pokemon, and then they'll have this Pokemon basically genie up some magic and give magic back to people. That's like the idea. So it's Dragnarok. It's Tiamat. And then you have Bahamut, which is Aethergos. So this is the Pokemon that created all the other Pokemon. It's the god of magic. So, combination of like Mistra and then Bahamut from D&D lore. So this is the god of magic. It set up all the rules for how the world is supposed to work with people and Pokemon and magic and balance and harmony and blah, blah, blah. And then these 3 Pokemon are assigned to make sure that those rules are being cared for. This Pokemon is going to come about and break those rules. So then Daddy Dragon's going to have to come back and fix them. I know that 2 of them are Dragon Steel. So I think that Aethergos would have some kind of like similar to Protean ability, because it is the it is the god of magic. So there's no, since it can kind of bend reality to do whatever it is that they want to do, they would be able to affect even their typing. So how that would come across, whether it is by getting rid of, like, even though it's Dragon Steel, it's not weak to anything, or maybe it has some version of Protean or something like that. I don't know. But there'd be a reason why it doesn't matter that Othrias and Aethergos have the same typing. But welcome back, Dark Spider. And those are the Pokemon. Those are the Pokemon, guys and gals. Look at all these fellas. Look at all these fellas. All these fellas. But yeah, I mean, that's the region, that is the Etheria region. Those are the Pokemon. So I hope that people like them. I hope that people are okay that it took that took longer than I thought it was, like 2.5 hours almost. So yeah, so like that is, there are still, originally I had 217 Pokemon, and then, whittling it down to, 180 something. So there's still a handful of Pokemon that, I would still want to hold on to for other stuff. But yeah, so I'm going to take this, 2.5 hours or whatever that we've done so far, and I'll do a breakout video for it. So hopefully get some more eyes on it, get some more stuff going on there. And we've been playing D&D for a little while, and my hope is to eventually transition over into this world with these Pokemon, for the campaign that we're doing right now. But yeah, man. Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly, Mabe. Exactly. But yeah, no. Hero did a great job with so many of these designs. It's Hiro. Bogey Hero. BOGY HIRO. Mark the timestamp, girl, please. And it's 2 hours and 36 minutes, but I don't even know when I started. I'll have to go through for when I got up to pee and whatnot, so I'll have to tinker around with it a little bit. But it'll just be a big ol' fun breakout that we can do. But so yeah, so looking at more stuff for the Etherian region. So yeah, so the idea would be, the bad guys are siphoning magic out of Pokemon. To kind of to do their experiments to create, their own version of the weave, basically, so that way they can have they can give magic back to humans, but also mostly to them because they're bad. I'm going. And then Daddy Bahamut's gonna have to come and fix that. And that's kind of the whole idea behind the region. So I hope the people enjoyed that, and if it gets any type of traction or anything like that, we can break it up like the Poke Rap. I could. And now I'm just prepping Infinite Fusion really quick. Although I think yeah. I'm prepping the IF. I'm prepping the Fugies because we're gonna play. Hold on here, guys and gals. I'm trying to figure out my life. There we go. All right, cool. But yeah, no. So that's. I really enjoy roll a d12 for a type run. I mean, that's what people want. People want stuff for them. We don't need to get into the way the world is right now. Anyways, but yeah, I really enjoyed working with Hero and Matt and everybody else on getting those designs and concepts, and dealing with me ranting and raving at them, especially Hero, for months. And then I've just been sitting on these because I was like, all right, I'll do it after Christmas. And then, my family got sick for 6 weeks straight. And then it was just all right, well, I'll put them on this separate channel. I was like, all right, well, that separate channel is brand new. I don't have big enough of a following that I can force people over there. It's all right, well, then I'll just put a big long video up on my channel. And then, once again, we've basically been sick since New Year's. So it's only been the last couple of weeks that somebody in the house hasn't been sick. So what I will say, it's been good for the backlog because I've gotten my next 15 videos done. Because I haven't been able to stream at night. So I've just been playing a lot of Infinite Fusion and other ROM hacks and stuff. So that's good. But that doesn't mean now I have time to work on this. And if it works out, then great. I would love to make my New England region. I would love to make that a reality. Because actually with that, because it was originally just Rhode Island. And now I'm all right, cool, I want to do New England. So how do you do New England? Do I make the starters this? Because I was the state animal of a couple of the states. And it's well, no, starter Pokemon are rare. I can't have a harbor seal or whatever, or a Rhode Island red be one of the starter Pokemon, because that's just a regular ass chicken. It should be a rare Pokemon. It's all right, cool. So maybe the sports teams. It's all right, well, the Red Sox don't have a animal. I guess it could be a dog or something. Just socks, in Bluey. But then I was well, but then is it really got to be sports? I was well, then maybe it's zoo animals. And then I was like, oh, cool. Well, then I don't know. I don't know. Animals based on food. Animals based on the angry drunk guy standing outside of every Irish bar. Hold on, let me just let the dog out really quick. You got a freaking Pokemon based off a guy who's got a chowder in one hand, a Gansett in the other, and a Marlboro in his mouth. And he's freaking yelling at Philly. First of all, I know you're not from around here, but Philly is not New England. Good sir. How dare you besmirch the fine people of New England by including Philadelphia? My God. I got a Sam Adams or a Gansett. Got some chowder. I'll take you down to the freaking harbor, guy, all right? And I'll tell you right now. My second cousin's wife's boyfriend, who I know very well, because you know everybody. Everybody from New England knows everybody from New England. You know my cousin. You know my cousin Derek. That was the name I came up with. I don't got a cousin Derek, but that guy over there does. And we're going to go get some lobsters. We're going to park the car. You think you're better than me? What other New England things can I do? I'm not. That's 20 minutes away, bro. I cannot get over there today. If I had to drive 20 minutes, you needed to tell me at 7 in the morning because I can't prepare for that type of drive. It's way too long. I couldn't possibly. Could not possibly. You tell me I got to go over the... I am not getting on 93. In this traffic, it'll take me like 15 minutes to get over there. Unacceptable. In this economy? Anyways, what am I doing with my life? Infant fusion, everybody here taking the train. You just taking the ferry to Block Island? First of all, now you're just talking like maybe some more New York type of stuff, and that's not what we're doing here. We are not from New England. My buddy from Rozzy, you don't want to mess with him. Apparently everybody's just from Boston, and that's not even the case. We're not from Boston. What are we doing? I don't know. Oh, yeah. That one with the... Oh, that was the one we were doing, but it's... Oh, no, that's my dark run. Spoilers, it doesn't go very well. New game. Let's do random. We'll be soapy dopey. Dope. But now we're playing Pokemon Infinite Fusion, the fan game with all sorts of guys. Got some sprites. I love legendaries. You kidding me? We are gonna fix all of these guys. NPCs? Yeah. Gym trainers? Yeah. Items? Yeah, why not? Sure. All right, so trainer Pokemon insane. Wild Pokemon balanced. I would love to be the very best like you have ever been. Stopping down this Pokemon, and then we're doing things. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em, it's you and me. Oh, where is my baby bean? See if my daughter's on the way home. Oh, you're my best friend in a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em. All right. I plan on streaming for like 6 to 8 hours a day for 6 days. And I threw out my voice in 2.5 hours. That's fun. That was a good move. But how are you all doing tonight? Thank you all for indulging me as I just word vomited for, 2.5 hours straight. basically uninterrupted. I appreciate everybody hearing me out with that very much. I'll be fine. I'd rather suffer. Go for someone to ask me about the three. I mean, obviously it's Feladon, Fodder, and Kakuna. Three of the like 4 mascots of the channel. I just need to get Malode. If I just put like a Malode in Feladon's like left hand, like just below. This is the highlight of your month? Hey, thanks, man. You're too kind. Hold on here. I love that I can't remember his name, but the old man grass trainer from X and Y. I love that his outfit's just here. But we're gonna wear that. With the Chuck stash. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right, let's clear storage boxes out. Hello there! You should commission artists to make a fusion of all 3. Thank you for being proud of me, mother. Hey, Maeve, thanks so much, man. I appreciate that. Punk Nick! Congratulations on becoming a member. Congratulations. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Maeve's the homie. Thank you so much, dude. Boom. All right. Let's see what we're rocking with. Ooh, 10 months. Happy 10 months, dude. Ooh, Squirt Quill. Okay. Volt Shoe. And Karai. Okay. Okay. These are all some really cool fusions. All right, hold on. Let's take a look. I mean, because obviously Water Fire is an excellent combination. Yeah, this is Goblin. Goblin's Goblin. Let's look at Sharpedo, the Sableye, and make sure it maintains. Oh, that's right. It's like a weird, like, surfing dude. It'd be Water Ghost. I mean, see what Electrode and Lantern looks like. I mean, Electrode and Lantern is fun, but like, yeah, I think it's just the 2 of you for the 10 months. All right, so it's either Squirt Quill or this little Mind Goblin. Let me go ahead and give myself reversers. I guess the splicers too, in case I have to undo anybody. Lantern. We're streaming with friends here, so I'm just gonna give myself Master Balls. I'm not gonna bother. Candies. Oh, teleporter. That's the last thing. Because we're just messing around here, guys and gals. We're just messing around. They are all water, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I gotta go with the Mind Goblin. That's his name. Mind Goblin. Ooh, give that into Mind Goblin. All right, anyways. Boom, we got that. Now let's go ahead and fill in our team. Bear with me, guys. I'm so sorry. Beware of the Mind Goblin. Like, what's a Mind Goblin? Mind Goblin these nuts. Get in there, Squirt Quill. Yum. Yum. 2 flinches for the Mind Goblin. He couldn't believe it. He could not believe. He could not believe the legend of the Mind Goblin. Hello there! He will keep that fusion, yeah. I mean, yeah, I gotta give myself... If I'm gonna be Rando's evil brother. Oh my god, reel it. This does not affect the Mind Goblin. And I have rough skin. Lol. Oh yeah, no, the only saving grace I'm gonna have is it's the fact that it's not gonna have like a good moveset. Okay, so that is like our Pidgey or our Rattata. Cotton Plip, okay. That could be a decent one too. We got two solid Pokemon for our Route 1 encounter. I'm into that. I mean, yeah, basically. It is Cottony staple to a Piplup, but I mean, if it becomes Fairy Steel, like if it's Fairy Steel has a custom sprite, then that would be huge, you know? Oh wait, I forgot that I already had balls. But they're not real balls because I didn't like get them from Professor Oak, so it doesn't count. All right, we got Reel-It first. I assume the Doug Trio and Lucario have a fusion. They have to. Yeah. Okay. It's not very good. It is very fast though. I mean, it's a Diglett, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's only gonna do so much anyways. And we'll do that. Boom, boom, boom. Want to in my room. And you know what? We'll do some nicknames after some members. So Mabe, this is you. I mean, I had to do the Mind Goblin because, like, do you Mind Goblin these? But you know, the rest of it. Okay. So, is it still Love Disc? Or has the randomizer... Yeah, still Love Disc. I love that Love Disc defies the randomizer. It's like, no, I will be Love Disc. I don't care what you have to say. What's going on, Galaxy? Oh, Ferrogue. Let's see if Ferrothorn has Hitmonlee. No. Okay. Hitmonchan. Yes. Okay. And what about Hitmontop? Has to have a Hitmontop. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right. Cool beans. So I can't catch you. Ferrogue. Okay. So what about Hitmonchan? Yeah, Ferrochan is Ferrochan and Ferrotop. Ferrotop would be nice for Technician, but if I'm gonna want to rely on things like Power Whip and whatnot, I don't think it's gonna be the best option. Yeah. Nations rise and fall, but the indomitable strength of Love Disc will not be tainted. Aquajet, abso-frickin-lutely. Yeah, I'm gonna say a no for Growl. I'll get rid of Scratch for that. Astonish. Get rid of Endure. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to get rid of Counter. Whatever. I'm a little disappointed that Love Disc was replaced Pucky Mucky. Because it's like I really liked Pukimuku. I really like Pikamuku a lot. He was just that solid defense that you could slap on literally anybody was fantastic. And Love Disc is just like Love Disc. But I understand. I understand the need to change things. Oh my God almighty. I don't need any of this. Hello there. Welcome to my lab. I'm Professor Beans. Deadco. It's just a randomizer galaxy. So trainers can have anything, and our encounters are relative base stat total, so they're similar. Shedco could be really good, but not until it evolves. So right now it's just straight bug. When it evolves into bug steel, obviously fire is its only weakness. So I need to protect Shedco at all costs. So I'm going to catch it and throw it right in the box. And it evolves on 31. So if we're still kicking around when it's time to head to Erica, then that'll work. So that'll be the thing we do. So this is going to be Ubek. I forgot to name Ferrorogue. Shoot. Dash. There we go. Cornberry. I forgot that was a Cornberry. Amulet coin. Oh, great. I'm glad we got some poppins. I forgot that items were randomized. I have to go check out the store. Thank you for the splicers. My name's not Rando, it's Brando. Brandbot, no thank you. Get out of my house with my aqua jets. Oh wait, is that big burly thing? Is that real? I thought that was just like a fan made thing. Ugh, so all potions are amulet coins. I hate when that happens. I wish that it could randomize a bit better, but it's what it is. Oh, good thing I didn't get crab toe. 4 cornberries. 6 amulet coins. A relic statue. A life orb. And leftovers. Okay. All right. Lefgron. First of all, this is not similar base stat total. Like, it isn't. It's not. It is 100% not. But, like, obviously I'm going to take it. But it's just like, what the hell? Yeesh. Yeah, it's got to be Tangela, but it's just so funny. Punk Nikki, welcome to the squad. It's so funny. So when this evolves into Clefairy, it won't have one. So even though it is a significantly worse Pokemon, like it's 100 100 base stat total less. I kind of have to reverse it because that typing, guys. Very cute. Unfortunately, when it evolves, it will not have a custom sprite. So until I get a Moonstone, it will not have a custom fella. Custom Fevolution. All right. Bug Gem. All right. Well, whatever. Guts, arena trap, whatever. Rough skin. Okay. So let's get our encounter. Well, Flame Orb. Okay. Some good items. Ooh, Synergy. I don't love the fire flying, but this could be good. Oh, that's true, Dash. I did not even remember that that's how that interacts. I don't know if there are any other members watching, so I'll just name them for you guys. So this can be Psyduck, who I know is Leon, but you're Psyduck right now, so it's fine. Ugh, I could have had Ratcham. Could have had that Ratchet. So what got randomized into a Pokeball? Arlos. Beware the Mind Goblin. I love Solo Cargo. That is absolutely precious. Perish. Perfect. Ooh, Axe Cool would have been cool as hell, too. All right, so these air balloons are something. Shedans. Imagine if there was a Pokemon. Oh, it would have been Poison Dark. If I had Poison Dark with an air balloon, that'd be fun. Yeah, true. Very true. Ooh, Ross. Don't love that. Are you for real? I am for real. Oh, God, I didn't mean to do that. That was a complete accident. There we go. Stop! Ugh! Not prepared. There we go. I forgot I didn't level everybody else up. All right, sounds good, Galaxy. Hey, CL, what's up, bud? I have 4 leftovers? Oh, wait, Flame Orb. I have Guts, huh? All right, hold on here. So, Life Orb, give to Punk. Leftovers, we can give that to the Mind Goblin. I mean, I could give Dash a Flame Orb, I just feel like that's like asking for it, though, you know? Hey, what's going on, Clear? Thanks for popping in, my dude. We are doing. I did the Etheria decks. So the first 2 hours or so of the stream, we ran through all of those. So in the next week or two, I'll cut that out and put that up as a separate video. So that'll be fun. So we're gonna do this in like my daughter will be home It does have Magic Guard Dash, yeah. My daughter will be home soon, so I will, need to say hello. I'll help my mom get the bath ready and stuff. And then I'll come back and play until my wife gets home. Then I gotta cook the two of us dinner. We're gonna eat, so I'll need to go AFK for a little while. I know that I'm not gonna take a double fuse shelter. We're gonna get a fusion. That's a double fuse Remoraid. Let's get a fusion. Hapadon. Okay. Heck yeah. Does Bastiodon and Blissey have a fusion? And they do, with a 582 base stat total. 190 HP. 115 defense. 136 special defense. The ultimate in egg-bearing technology. Holy smokes. Although I don't think it has another custom sprite until its final evolution. Oh, sorry, no. So once I get Bastiodon, it does. Okay. So right now its base stat total was only 311. Cue the music. If I don't get an Oval Stone organically by the time we get to Celadon, then I'll give myself an Oval Stone then. There you go. Okay. We'll see what type rock is. See if I need Mud Slap. Water type. Okay. Tackle, protect. No. I gotta get my dog. Come on, baby girl. That's a good point, Damien. I don't know. No, I think the items are good. Oh, they're home. Be right back. And I just heard the news today. It seems my life is gonna change. Hello, my daddies. Hey, everybody. Bringing of Jordan down my face with arms wide open. Under all the sunlight. Welcome to this place. I show you everything with arms wide open. All right, sorry about that all. We're back. Had to say hello, get the update from my mom, see how everything went over at her house. Water type, right? So I don't really have anything good for water. All right, whatever. Did they really? That's funny. Oh my god, Empachum. I love it. And luckily it's psychic. And Ruskin takes care of that. Mind Goblin. Do you truly believe that you could stand up against the might of the Mind Goblin? Your forces will be absolutely decimated by me. And my Punk Nicky. Manto! First of all, there's nothing good. Nice dash. Yo! And Tito is fantastic. That's fine. Let's get this extra life orb damage, taking it down, defeating Brock. Good job, everybody. Great stuff. Glad to see it. But yeah, no, I have about 40-ish minutes. Then I'll need to I might have to call it for the night tonight a little early, just because I'm already dedicating every night next week to playing. So my wife might want to hang out with me. I mean, I want to hang out with her, but you know what I mean. I'll figure it out when she gets home. But I might, after I have dinner, I might just call it for the evening, and we can pick up with the proper. Ooh, Shroomella, are you? Huh? Well, you're definitely grass. Oh, we have date night tomorrow, but just I don't watch a lot of TV just because I'm always doing a lot of like content stuff. But I gotta say, I really like Traders. And we only have 2 episodes left of season 1 of Traders, so I might want to. I might want to see what Alan Cummings got going on. You know, I might want to see what's going on with these folks. No, I was not paying attention. Why? How did it just use Solar Blade? Was that from Metronome? Also, isn't Solar Blade a 2-turn move? Also, Solar Blade's in this game? Actually, I knew Solar Blade was in this game, because Septidactyl has it. What are the odds, man? I'm so frustrated right now. So I just wasn't paying attention. Thank you, Mabe. I'm so annoyed. Black Sludge and a Protector. Okay. That's so crappy. My Mind Goblin. Like, I knew it wasn't going to last very long because it's a Sableye without Prankster, but, like, a girl can dream, you know? Birkin? Birkin? CL, I'm sorry you got named after such a crummy Pokemon, but I'm prioritizing members. But this is cute. Oh, is this just the straight grass one? Yeah, it is. I gotta reverse it. Yeah, I mean, you know, for now, it'll be something I can stick in the party. Fine. But, you know, we'll see what happens. All right. Let's level up a little bit here. Gonna get this to 18 so I can just not have to do two different. We have Quilava and Pidgeotto. All right. Oh shoot, I didn't. Did I talk to Brock? Okay, I did. All right. I got so. I was thrown. I was thrown. That's what the kids say. All right. Now. Gyro Ball, really? I don't know yet. Let's find out. Rat race. Rat race. I'm a rat. As silly as that is, I mean, I gotta go with this. It's gonna replace CL for now, simply because I'm gonna name you Kakuna. Because I can evolve it right away. It'll be more useful because of that. I'm just gonna level it up to the level cap here. This can be our ace for now. All right. You tell me. I thought it was 22. Must okay. Is the reverse better? Yeah, the reverse is better, but this looks cooler. So we're gonna do Rule of Cool here. We're gonna do Rule of Cool. So welcome to the team, Kakuna. All right. Another amulet coin. I'm just gonna grab that. Solar Beam. Okie dokie. Bug normal is a pretty good combo, yeah. You're lowering my speed, but it's terrible. We'll go for protect. Get rid of charm for that. All right. Yeah, bug normals are okay. Okay. I love it. I love every moment of it. A heat rock. What that hand do? Mega Mimic should be a Pokemon Center. I mean, hell yeah, dude. That's a pretty good one. Hold on. I'm just gonna, because I can avoid these trainers anyways. So we're just gonna run around them. This guy I can't avoid though, so I will fight him. You know, I will say that Psyduck is going to be a pretty solid Pokemon for the early game. You know, Pidgeot is burly enough that I think it'll be able to keep our Typhlosion going here, despite the fact that I am confused and asleep and punching myself in the face repeatedly. Let's go ahead and swap out, and we'll do Punk Nickel again. I might need to give myself a Moonstone just to get rid of this horrible monstrosity. And Tentacle is adorable. I love him with every fiber of my soul. And Headbutt's going to take care of that. Leading into Furious. Pardon us. Pardon us. Phyrexius. He's fast and furious. I mean, he is fast and furious. Absolutely. Get lost, kid. My name is Team Rocket, and here's War Stories. Okay. Alrighty. Get out of here. Delcario. I've used Delcario. Pretty sweet. Don't love the Steadfast, but that's fine. That's dead. Because this rat doesn't mess around. Ooh, Leaf Life. All right, I'll take that. Orb. Hold on. Whatever a Swarfberry is. Echoed Voice. Not great. Rindale Berry. Yeah, seriously. These Rocket Grunts are not messing around. I guess my Sunkern could have been worse. It could have been that. Oh, look at you. Too bad I already have an encounter. All right. First of all, what's up with all these starter fusions? Onta. Wow, this would have been a perfect Pokemon to fight with my Water Goblin. Probably 0. I mean, if it's nighttime, I'll go outside. Love the finger guns. Yeah, that did more than I would like. Do you have dry skin? You don't, you have run away. I need to change you to dry skin? Okay, good. Although, you know what? I should probably change you to normal bug, though, huh? Just for the typing. Yeah. Because I only have 3 weaknesses. Well, I don't know. I think it's a net neutral. I'll have fewer weaknesses, but I'll have fewer resistances. So we'll keep it like this. Moonstone? Nope. Laxatives instead. Longy. Oh, I love that. Tie-ins. That was good. I like tie-ins a lot. Doomer. No, thank you, my good man. I said good day, sir. Cork carp. We run into Team Rocket at the back of Mount Moon doing God knows what with all these rocks. And then they throw down some Pokemon. And then those Pokemon, they feed them all way too many rocks. And it makes them rock hard. Ludicolo Torterra is derpy looking. Sure, it's adorable in its own special way. We will do triple fusion later. For now, we must retreat. But you have not seen the last of Team. A Salic Berry! Not what I wanted. I wanted a... Oh my god, Sandro! A Waterstone? Okay, I'll take the Waterstone. That's fine. There's a lot of swell-looking fellas in this this here Mount Moon. Excuse me. 9-inch! Deep Sea Scale. A Fairy Gem. Binja is a dupe. That is also a double dupe. Polyreap! First of all, why is he wearing a sheet? He looks like a bad ghost. He looks like a Mudkip that thinks he's a ghost. The Mudkip dressed up like a ghost for Halloween. That's what that is. Let's look at Ampharos with Politoed. Oh, that's a goofy dude. That is a goofy dude. Yep. What about Poliwrath? Oh, that's also a dude. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna catch you. Get on this little ball, buddy. Get in the ball. Get in the ball. Okie dokie. We will get rid of Clear for now, because I need it to survive until I can find an Oval Stone. So we got a little bit of work to do. So we... Yeah, 100%. Yeah, go to the electric fighting route, I think. And then give him Water Absorb. I know he's not weak to water, but it'll just be an immunity. Electric fighting only has 3 weaknesses, which is great. And I have air balloons, so I could give him an air balloon for what that's worth as well. The AI might not know about it. Let's do Yamil. Now let's reverse the fusion, because the reverse is a little bit better. I didn't even consider that. That'd be pretty wicked. Hello there. Take swagger. You look like a boy. Who's gonna riz up the ladies? Take this. Never melt ice in King's Rock. Interesting. Okay. Heat rock, stardust, relic gold. Get a really level cap here. I mean, I guess. Magnitude. Force palm, foresight. Bulldoze. No, I think I like magnitude more because you have a 50% chance of it being. Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna go with Polyrath. The typing is great. I didn't even consider the Mind Reader thing. That's pretty cool. I'll take Sucker Punch. I want to roar. Excuse me. Wake Up Slap. Tempting, but no. Ooh, Iron Head. Yep, 1,000. Early Iron Head here. Let's go. Charge? Yeah, I'll always take charge. You never know when you're gonna need the boost. This only thing is until I get to Poliwhirl. So I'm just this little wiener thing here. Take down, nope. Body slam. Yeah, the 60% on hypnosis I don't think is worth it. Alright, cool. Banana. Use life. And what do I got here? So, who's fast on my team? Anybody? Lucario, obviously, yeah. All right, so I'll give you a King's Rock. Cool. All right, let's take care of Rando and see if we can take care of Misty as well. Oh, yeah, no, 100%. I mean, since I'm always... The thing is, since I'm always just spamming constant runs, I don't always get to that stuff. But I don't love that. There we go. For lava. Okay. I was like, I'm really risking the fire move here. Let's watch me a Kakuna. No, I'm gonna get poisoned, but I can resist this stuff better, I think. Yep. Come on. Really? Really? Forgot to level dash up. Shit. There we go. Golazor! Pardon me, young man. There we go. All right, cool. Yeesh, I thought I leveled everybody up. My bad. Should be Hitmonchan, yep. Fedorchan. So since I mean the reverse fusion does have a right, but I'm not going to change it because the typing is bad. Not that it's bad, but it's not. Steel fighting is so good, you know. Like how could I? Like, literally, how could I not? Who's poisoned? Kakuna. Okay. You want me to turn you into the weird cactus thing? I mean, I will. All right, there we go. For now, I'm switching it back though, obviously. All right. Let's see if I have the elemental punches as relearn moves, because that would be wonderful. Oh, you wanted to be... Oh, I can make it Hitmontop. No, I can change it. Hold on. I don't care. I mean, I'll take the special special defense boost. You sure? All right. All right, let's try to get over to Bill and Missy before I have to take my break here. I think what I'll do is I'll pop off, and if I'm coming back, then I'll just pop back on. Probably the easiest way to do it. So it'll be a separate stream. But I do think I'm just going to hang out with my wife tonight since I'm going to be doing this all week. Yeah. But I mean, I could also, I could have messed with its IVs or I could have messed with its EVs or something, you know? Look at all these water Pokemon. Bigong. Oh, Lordy coming. Okay, well, I don't love that. There you go. Dofable. One of you Psyduck, man. But Kakuna's the boy. Kakuna's the homie. Alamega. Very cool, Tim. Very cool. More water Pokemon. What is going on? Love the Tamagotchi with Klefki here. All right, cool. I'm coming for you. Yep. I was asking for that one. Nomalberry. I love that bunch now, by the way. But once again, coming up on some more water boys. Well, I don't love the amnesia either, so let's swap out again. Sorry, Dash. Lick, bro! Bah. See ya. You want to join Team Rocket? Sure. Get to Captain Petrol. Get over there as soon as you can. Oh my. Ooh, okay. Okay. Let's look at Almastar with Melodic. That's got to have a fusion, right? It doesn't. Wow. Okay. Oh, that sucks. All right, because that would have been that would have been a powerful Pokemon. Bunfing. Well, I'm assuming you got something. Lopunny and Weezing. You do, yes. You have. It's definitely a reference, but I don't know what it's a reference to. Cool. Oh, shoot, I forgot to nickname it. All right, well, I'll do that if I add it in the party later. Volbat. I mean, then again, I don't need another... Shed Shell. Otini. Dog. I was not ready for that. Adley. A dilly. A dilly. Really, dude? What is the RNG on this? Stop punching yourself. Oh, lordy coming. Pretty sure this is where I lose. Stop confusing me. Oh my gosh. Dude. Okay. All right, cool. All right. Oop. Wrong button. There we go. Hey, all right, all right, all right. Your first ever Nuzlocke was remix mode? That's a pretty tough Nuzlocke. That is awesome, dude. I commend you for that, because that is a rough a rough one. Please don't use a fighting move. Okay. Nice. But yeah, if you're new to Nuzlocke, I would definitely recommend like some like vanilla games, like Fire Red, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, but not post game. I think my little beanbag's asking for me. I can hear her. We might not get to Misty. My mom needs help with bedtime. Oh my gosh, look how cute you is. Let me go see what she needs. Give me 2 seconds, everybody. Wait, what was your first Nuzlocke if it wasn't a Pokemon game? Sup, Xana? How's it going, bud? I'm probably going to be calling it for night 1 soon. I started, like, 4 hours ago. When my wife gets home from work, I'm going to have some dinner with her, and then I might pop back on. I'm not sure yet. I love that talent champ, by the way. I just think it's glorious. That's crazy, dude. I mean, yeah, the champion battle can be really rough. In any version of remix mode, it is a hard one. It is a hard one, dude. Get out of my house, dog. All right, cool. So we got the Cerulean Cape. Yeah, man. I mean, we've all been fighting various sicknesses since Christmas, so I haven't streamed a lot. But I'm gonna stream all next week. But I wanted to come on tonight. We ran through the whole D&D decks, and then we've been playing this for like an hour. And then, yeah, man, we're just doing it. We're doing it. Oop. Teleporter, there we go. So let's take care of Misty, and then I'll call it for now. I'll throw something up on the Discord if I'm coming back on, but it's like a 50-50. Steel-type Pokemon. Okay, so... I mean, we got Mabe. We got... I mean, Mabe and Psyduck, I think, are our best bets here. Its mechanics were very based off Pokemon, though, so Nuzlocking was very possible. Still being very mysterious. That's okay. All right, let's do Mabe. Let's do Psyduck. Okay, this is a perfect one, then. See ya. Left tomb. The magnitude 4 is my butt, dude. What the hell? Ooh, no, thank you. Steel type. Boom. Misty has been defeated. You've earned your Cascade badge. Dragon Tail. Yeah, I don't know why that Astonish was, like, so powered up. I like, it's not like Klefki or Spiritomb have a high physical attack. I mean, even if it was Stab, I don't know why it was, like, beating the crap out of me. All right, so we got our first 2 badges. We ran through the entire Etherian Pokedex. It's been 4 hours. We got 1 gift. Thank you so much, Mabe. I really appreciate that. But if I'm not back tonight, then Monday through Friday, big boy streams every day. Tomorrow night we have date night. I don't know if I'll try to pop on Sunday, but that'll depend on how the rest of the day goes. But everybody here hanging out with me right now, thank you so much. I'm gonna end the stream, and if I'm gonna pop back on, I will pop into the Discord and give a heads up. But if I don't, but this is me assuming that I'm just gonna watch TV and hang out with my wife the rest of the night. But thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate everybody hanging out and putting and going through the decks with me. I really appreciate that you guys like the art. You know, Hero did a really good job with like 90% of it. It was really cool. And hopefully we can do more in the future. Hopefully, you know, I make that cut out. I put it up as a proper video, and hopefully people like it. You know, I know it goes very against what we normally make on the channel, but I would really love for it to be something that I like. But anyways, I'll catch you on the flip flop. See ya.